The heart of L.A., Valley Sports West. The heart of a fan.
Ohtani showed what he's made of. He's absolutely one of the best players to ever play, if not the best player to ever play the game.
Words cannot do Shohei Ohtani justice.
Got him swinging!
Every week, he does something more incredible.
And there it is. Shohei Ohtani goes all 9.
First career complete game shutout for the Unicorn.
Every day, he reaches a new pinnacle.
Back to Luchacala's Canton. This is 40.
He is simply the spectacular Shohei.
To Angels Live right here on Valley Sports. This pregame show brought to you by Lexus. We had rain here in Southern California. That's right, that umbrella, that was real. Halos, Giants here at the Big A. A chance for the Angels to win the series, snapping a 7-game losing streak. The right guy on the bump to get it done, Shohei Ohtani. We'll also have a chat with Brandon Drury, Colin Bade alongside for that. And Lucas Giolito. That was a strong 6 with 7 punch-outs last night. The Angels got to win the series, tied up 1 apiece. And a big crowd on hand for this one, of course. And welcome to our set. We've got a lot of homers and a lot of wins on the set right here with Tim Salmon and Mark Gubas. I mentioned the Angels are playing the Giants, and Tim's like, huh? What? They're playing the Giants? We got to go. Timmy, we're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Angels and Giants, World Series. You remember, right?
I do. It was pretty exciting.
Fish, let me ask you, how you feeling after win? Did you get a good night's sleep finally?
I did. I tell you what. Hey, I mean, even on this side, we're all fans, right? I mean, it's hard to see the team you love go through a streak like that. That's tough sledding right there for everybody. But I tell you what, waking up this morning, new day. Hey, start a new streak. You got Shohei on the mound. What more could you ask for?
Exactly.
I mean, this is a lot of fun. I mean, especially at the battle. It wasn't easy. If you score 4 runs in the first inning, okay, let's go and coast your way through. But no, you know, the Giants battled all the way back, and you win a tough game like that. That's the kind of thing you want to do, win one of those close, and then you got Shohei on the mound. But I'll tell you what, the energy level in the stadium here, everyone just watching Shohei Ohtani warm up, it's pretty fun, this atmosphere here today. And it's going against the Giants, a chance to win a series before going down to Texas before you take on the Astros and the Rangers.
Yeah, let me ask you, Gooey, you know, as far as Shohei on the bump, like what do we know? What are we going to see? Because he's got 13 1/3 scoreless, but the last time out, he took himself out of the game on the hill with 4 scoreless against Seattle.
Well, when I even go back to his shutout, his first career shutout in the major leagues, he threw the ball exceptionally well. His fastball was really good. I've always been, me and Tim, we've talked about this even last time out. You got to be a believer in your fastball, get some quicker outs, take a little bit off the pressure off the hand and the fingers when you're throwing those secondary pitches. I mean, his last time out there, he did throw 4 shutout innings, and it started off pretty well. He ended up throwing some 99-mile-an-hour fastball, even threw a couple splitters in that game. So for Shohei to be able to do the things he did in that game, even though he had to come out with a cramping in his hand, he still did what he needed to do to win the game.
He did, and you know, I think the concern was that 4th inning. Even though he got out of it, I mean, he didn't throw very many pitches, but I don't think he threw but 1 fastball, and there was a pretty good drop-off in velocity, so that hand cramping definitely had an effect. And you got to ask yourself, I mean, you're coming off a big performance the time before, and then you're playing in Atlanta. This guy plays every day. I mean, come on, he's got to have some exhaustion at some level. And again, that night he ended up hitting a home run and stealing a base after that outing. So it's nice to see a guy that can go out there and do what he does every night. We expect it. We appreciate the fact that he goes out there. But, you know, he's human. And there's going to be times where just fatigue has to settle in at times.
I mean, it was the first time since 1926 where you throw 4 shutout innings, you steal a base and hit a home run in the same game.
Yep.
How many times have we said the first since or the first time ever for Shohei? That's the thing. It's absolutely incredible about Shohei Ohtani.
We hit number 40, Yonju. Will he hit Yonju Ichi here tonight? Number 41, it's on the way. But let me ask you about that. You know, you look at him at the plate, the last 11 games, just the 1 homer and the 2 RBIs. He is hitting .378 in those 11 games. So, Tim, you've been there where they don't want to pitch to you. What's going through the situation with Ohtani at the plate right now?
Well, it's exactly that. I mean, you're seeing him get intentionally walked. You're seeing him get maybe maybe they don't care to pitch to him and walk. It's kind of not really an intentional walk, but they're not going to give you anything to hit. I think for Ohtani, for any hitter, I mean, if you're going to hit for power, you're hitting mistakes over the middle of the plate. Right now, everybody's hypersensitive. Don't let Ohtani beat you. He's the one guy in the lineup. Pitch around him. That's the way it's going to be until Mike Trout gets in and this lineup gets back to where the depth is that they can protect him. But for right now, Ohtani's doing a good job putting the ball play, getting his hits. But again, the power numbers come with mistakes, and and that's Seattle rotation. They're coming after you hard. I mean, that's some good arms right there. They're not making a lot of mistakes, and he got his hits, but the power numbers come when you ultimately start seeing more mistakes. Over the
interesting thing, though, that launch angle will go down considerably from 13.7 to 8.2, but he's still, the batting average up, the slugging that percentage is down a little bit during that stretch, so he's still hitting the ball hard. I'll tell you what, if I'm a manager in the other team, I would make him get on first base. I'd walk him, then make him be active. That's the thing you're seeing quite a bit. Whether it's a strategy or not, he's on base so often, you throw over the first base, it's taxing, especially when Tim, like you said, he plays every day.
Well, listen, fatigue has been brought up, but he's still posting, and he's not missing a turn in the rotation. And he's got 40 homers. He's got 83 RBIs. He's hitting .307, and he's going for his 10th win tonight. What does he need to do to get the 10th win? You're liking that four-seamer in the sweep.
His four-seamer's been great. I mean, he's getting a lot of swing and misses. He's getting a lot of quick outs with it. And his sweeper, I think because he's throwing more four-seam fastballs and throwing a few less sweepers, both of those pitches have been a lot more effective because of that. And his four-seam fastball, we talk a lot about the edges. He's on the edges with his fastball quite a bit, whether it's away, up in the strike zone, and then he's been able to dominate and get a lot of swing and misses there with 46 strikeouts with his four-seamer. And then he goes back to the sweeper because he's throwing a few less. He's staying on top of that. I think part of it comes down to the more fastballs you throw, the better feel you're going to think, all right, I'm throwing this sweeper just like I'm throwing my fastball, staying on top of the baseball, and that's where you're seeing the success there. You see the sweeper percentage, you see the four-seam percentage, he's getting a ton of swing and misses. And his cutter, which I still think is like a slider right now, he's getting a lot more swing and misses. And his batting average, against the cutter is a little bit higher, but he's getting a lot more swing and misses there throughout. And if you look at all those numbers in there, how many of those batting average against are in the hundreds? That, for me, is unbelievable. He
still has the best batting average against in all of baseball. Real quick, what are you looking at as a hitter? Is this velo down? Is that something you would notice?
Well, I would notice right now the fact that 69% of his fastballs he's throwing for strikes. So he's hunting the zone with his fastball. I'd be ready to hit it. I mean, to me, that's the success right there. He's throwing that fastball more. Guys are having to respect it, and it's allowing that sweeper to play into a little bit better.
Last night was such a big game. There was some concern about Lucas Giolito, right, from what we saw in the first couple of starts. But listen, 6 strong, 1 tough little inning, but he found a way to get out of it, right, Gooby? And he had 7 punch-outs. That's a big win for him.
When you go on a mound, you're comfortable with. You've had success. We talked about it yesterday. He was 3-0 with a 3.86 ERA. And also, even as an amateur pitcher on this mound, you could tell right away, even though this is his first home start as an Angel, he's been on this mound before. He knows exactly the incline, where he needs to be. He's a 6'6" frame working downhill, and that's important for my thought. Overall, his fastball was a little bit firmer yesterday. He got up to 95 miles an hour. His slider was crisp, but his changeup, boy, this changeup, that was a changeup, and I remember over the last couple of seasons, a great swing and miss changeup.
I like the way he neutralized the left-handed batters in the lineup. They're 1 for 12. They had the 2 walks that ended up scoring in that 1 inning, but he did a great job. 5 strikeouts against the lefties. And again, that changeup, 62% miss rate on that changeup. I thought it was outstanding, and I think it always goes back to, we always come back to the fastball. You got to throw that fastball in the zone, make him respect it. But again, I agree with you, in fact, he's a tall presence on that mound, and having a tall presence with a changeup, that down angle right there, if you can keep it low in the zone, it's a tough one to
you look at that StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, where those pitches were. Off the edges or barely on the edges. And all 7 strikeouts, none in the middle of the zone. Those 2 starts, especially the one down in Atlanta, a lot of pitches were in the heart of the zone. And when you face a lineup obviously like the Braves, even the Giants here, you're going to get hurt. He was on the edges all night long. He was living on the edge by Aerosmith.
One of the things I like best from what we just saw, and you guys left it out, he's born in Santa Monica. Let's go. Born in Santa Monica.
Straight out of Santa Monica, right?
Nobody's exactly right. Thanks to Tim Salmon, he had the phone out. We got to see Michael Lorenzen throw a no-hitter there for Philadelphia. Are you kidding me? Congrats. Well, here's the last out. Wow.
Love it. Loki.
Happy for him.
Loki doing his job. I mean, he grew up right around the corner here, got a chance to pitch for the Angels, his hometown team last year, went out and dominated 124 pitches. I love the fact he was given that opportunity. His mom there, his wife, and his daughter, unbelievable moment for them. His 2 starts with the Phillies, by the way, have been pretty good.
What a pickup.
He's already a folk hero out there in Philadelphia right now. Michael Lorenzen, what a moment for the entire family.
That's awesome. Mom, wife, you can just see it, you sense it, you feel it. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Just a great guy, Michael Lorenzen, throwing a no-hitter. Wow. What do you got to say, Tim? I want you to jump in on this. You are speechless.
I wish it could have happened here with the Angels. I really liked him. I loved him. He was a great guy. I wish he would have been here doing that.
Yeah, I guess so, but we're happy for him. We'll take a break, come back. Lots to get to. Brandon Drury coming back. The injuries have been crucial and not in a good way for the Halos. Taylor Ward thinking about you if you're watching. We got a Brandon Drury interview with Carla Faith when we return with more Angels Live.
Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo, and this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
See it.
He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start. He took a home run away.
Live it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays.
The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
Here with Angels Live on Valley Sports, and it is brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealers. Experience amazing. And it's been a good experience seeing that man back, Brandon Drury, already paying dividends for the Halos, particularly last night. Big game for him. So our Carla Bathe earlier today with Brandon Drury.
Thanks so much, guys. Brandon, let's talk about your game last night. 3 hits, including a home run. It seemed like the team was getting things done in all sorts of different ways. How are you coming together as a group in that game?
Yeah, it was obviously a big game to come out and win on a 7-game losing streak. But, you know, we still got a lot of games left. And with this group, we all believe in each other so much. So, you know, we believe that we're going to get on a streak here and make something special happen.
Well, looking at your shoulder injury, how are you feeling since returning from that? And what type of things really helped you get back into that good shape so we could see that good performance like last night?
Yeah, it's getting a lot better. You know, able to take my swing now and be able to obviously go out and play. Training staff was great with just all my recovery and strength work and everything like that. So, you know, I feel good now.
Mark Gubicza was talking to me about your timing at the plate. How are you feeling about making sure that that's working for you and that you're seeing those pitches and doing what you're able to do at the plate?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like the results have been pretty good. I still feel like there's room for improvement. I feel like there's some at-bats that I have where I just feel a little bit off, but I think that's baseball. It doesn't matter if you miss time or not. You're going to have days like that.
Well, it's the last game in the Giants series. Tomorrow, you guys are going to hit the road, take off to Texas. A win like last night and hopefully a win tonight. What can that do for the confidence of this group and maybe start getting things rolling for you guys?
Yeah, you know, win tonight, win the series would be huge. You know, we obviously got a tough road trip. There's some really good teams. So, you know, it's time to get on a hot streak here and run with it.
All right, thanks for doing this. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Okay, Carla, thanks very much. Love Brandon. The guy's a total gamer, right, Tim? When you see him and you see what he brings on the field, what comes to mind for you?
Well, to me, he's a complete hitter at the plate. He's professional. I mean, he has an approach that is very reminiscent of the guys I grew up around, you know, learning how to play the game with. I mean, you use the whole field, and that's what we've seen. That changeup, he hit the home run last night. That was amazing, and we've seen him hit the slider to left field. For coming off the DL, he's hitting .417 against the off-speed pitch, and that's just so impressive because typically, everything you're talking about, the timing. I mean, your timing is the hardest thing to get back after being gone for 3 weeks. But again, that was a little cut slider right there, and then right here playing the defense, testing out the shoulder, he came out clean on that one.
Yeah, you mentioned that timing, Timmy. You notice as a hitter, it's so hard. I mean, you can simulate trying to be able to face a major league pitcher, but your timing is sometimes not there, and then you lose your confidence when your timing's not there. But I'll tell you what, right away you can see, I mean, he's had some really big hits and some tough pitches, whether they're inside. Even that base hit he had in the left field yesterday, he ran that fastball inside. He was able to still get the barrel in the bat through it. Moose, let's go! And be able to get that big hit there to be able to get an RBI.
Look at the concentration. You could, in the middle of the sentence, say, Moose, let's go, and then finish it. That is impressive. And, Tim, what was impressive also is seeing the Angels manufacture some key runs late. They've in the 7-game losing streak, so many tight losses. Getting those runs were big.
It was huge, especially in this series. You've seen a few times where they haven't manufactured runs or gotten the easy guy over from second base to get that one run. You've had a lot of run games, and all these runs count. But this right here is a great job. Drury leads off with a double right there, and then he's able to they were able to get him over and get him in to get that run. I mean, when you're talking about these one-run games, it's so important to make sure you get him over, and Crony comes up with a big hit right there.
I mean, it's making contact. You know, you always feel you get that ball in the middle towards the field, your percentage of getting a hit because it's big apart. But I just love this swing right there, Moustakas, because that swing path he enabled to, that was a pitch by design to get a ground ball potential double play. But he made sure he got that swing through there in the launch angle to be able to get that ball in the air and get the job done with a sac fly.
Yeah, right here, nice piece of hitting by Renfroe. Hey, good hitters get jammed. I'm telling you, you've seen Renfroe go to the other way. He had the double earlier in the game that drove in runs. Like to see his bat pathways going. Mickey Moniak coming up with a big hit. He's had some tough sledding a little bit, but he's coming up with some nice clutch hits. Again, the Angels find themselves in position, second or third opportunity to manufacture a run right here. And this one right here almost was a 3-run homer. This was a great piece of hitting. Great at bat right there. He went deep into the count. Again, hitting with runners in scoring position, it's all about being patient and using the whole field. I get it. Everybody's excited. Everybody's got a lot of energy. They want to make it happen, especially in a losing streak. You're just trying to get ahead of the process. You know, you got to relax, let the pitcher come to you. Look for that mistake. Look for that ball you can handle. Don't be swinging outside your zone. Get a ball that you can handle and get that run or get the job done.
And get that pitch where you can get in the air, which is not an easy task. I'm trying to either get a swing and miss when I'm on the mound or trying to get you hit the ball on the ground. Here where they get the ball in the air twice, sacrifice flies. The Angels, the tops in baseball as far as sacrifice flies this year, so that's a good stat.
Nice. That's a very good stat. Bottom line is that the team's confidence has been tested of late. The chemistry has remained strong in that room, and hopefully that pays off here tonight. Big game here, Gooby. This is a big one.
It's the biggest game of the year.
It is
tonight.
No doubt. Win this series before you head to Texas. Have a great call tonight with
Thank you.
Appreciate you hanging out.
I'm just hanging out with you guys. I'm waiting for Moose to run by.
You'll be over there with Moose. We'll let you go. You guys are besties already. That was a big win last night. And for Dominic Leone to pick up the save, first time the Angels have gotten a win since going all in. We're talking Dominic, the Dominator, next.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Rally Studios. Brooke Fletcher here alongside Joshua Perry. JP, let's talk college football, especially realignment. Do you think the SEC is going to expand anytime soon?
I don't think they're forcing the issue. I don't think they have any plans currently. I don't think they would like to. If a team like Florida State fell in their lap, I'm sure they would, but there's a 9-figure sum in the way of that right now.
All right, well, we're going to talk more topics like this right here on the Rally. You can catch it Thursday on your local Valley Sports Network. We'll see you then.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
It's like that. Got him. It stays fair.
Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we bring it to you. It's like that.
This is Mookie Betts, This is Christopher Russo, and this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Live on Valley Sports, brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealers. Experience amazing. Yeah, that's right. About to do just that. Number 17. Shohei Ohtani locked in. He's taking the ball, looking for his 10th win. Angels looking for a series victory against the San Francisco Giants. With Tim Salmon, I'm Patrick O'Neill. Let's talk about the bullpen and the great job that Dominic Leone did last night. I know he gave up a home run, but he battled. He picked up the save. He said this after the game that he kind of felt like he was the jinx on the team since they came over. They had not won since making all those trades at the deadline. Yeah. It meant a lot.
Well, there's a lot of guys that came over the trade that should have been the jinx then. Don't put it all on yourself. But, yeah, he did a great job last night. I mean, you're talking about a guy that he only has 8 career saves. We're talking about pitching in the 9th inning or those late inning games. It's a different animal. I don't care. He's pitched most of his career in the 7th inning, a little bit in the 8th, and a few outings in the 9th. So the key for me, though, is that he's got that closer stuff. 97-mile-an-hour fastball with a really good slider. That means the hitter's up there. He has what it takes to match their intensity. And last night, you saw him for an inning and 2/3. He did a great job getting the outs. Gave up the 1 home run. That was the only blemish. But you know what? That's okay. At the end of the night, he did exactly what this team needed. With a short bullpen, Lopez is down, Estevez was down. You needed a guy, a right-hander with this kind of stuff to come in there and do what he did. And like I said, hey, the 9th inning is a different animal. Look at that, 97, 98-mile-an-hour fastball there to strike him out. Nice little cutter slider, get the outs, let your defense play behind you. And again, can't say it enough. This is the toughest inning to pitch in. And he had to work for this one here, that last out. We were down there waiting for it. But hey, great job of pitching, considering all things considered, 7-game losing streak, the situation they've lost, you know, some tough ones late. To come in and do what he does as a new guy on the team, great job.
The Dominator, that's his nickname, and he did just that. Very athletic, we could see that for sure. But what about the pen in general? You mentioned Lopez, he's on bereavement. Reynaldo Lopez, he should be available to join the team in Houston on Friday. If it's a safe situation, are you confident they will go right back to Carlos Estevez for the save?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, he's your guy. Listen, it's unfortunate as a closer. I mean, when you have a mistake, usually your team wins or your team loses. Everybody else can go out there and have mistakes day in and day out. And you know what? There's other guys to pick you up. When you're that closer, you're on the island by yourself. But guess what? He's still that guy that you want out there. He still has the stuff. He's going to have a few bumps in the road without a doubt. Hey, just as long as the guys, he knows that the guys have his back. I mean, hey, up and down. I saw it with Troy Percival, Frankie Rodriguez, Lee Smith. They all have their outings. But you know what? They want the ball. Give him another chance. Hey, the worm's turning. All it takes is, you know, win a few games, and the momentum, everything is going to help you out there in the 9th inning.
I hope so. I'm not going to be nervous for him, you know, when he goes back out there. He won't be. Well, I'm just saying, I know he could do it. I just want him. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. As soon as he gets that first save,
it's over.
Then it's going to be over.
He's back, absolutely. Don't listen to the outside noise. Go out there and get it done. Hopefully it happens tonight in a series win for the Halos against the Giants. We'll give you the lineups for the Angels when we return.
It's the Modern Baseball Show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network. Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guest hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It's absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans and baseball players wake up to.
The show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
This is Angels Live reminder all season long after the Angels win at home. That means today fans can redeem free medium fries with a $1 minimum purchase at participating SoCal McDonald's. So download and register on the McDonald's app. The kids just keep getting cuter. I swear, I don't know what it is. It's the hair. It's got to be. Shohei Ohtani on the bump. He also leads everybody in home runs, but Matt Olson on his tail right there with the Atlanta Braves, and he's pitching, but Olson doesn't have any wins on the mound. Shohei's going for win number 10.
He is, and he has a lot more protection around the plate than Shohei has. Shohei's not necessarily getting pitched to all the time or getting the mistakes we talked about earlier in the show. So, hey, Shohei, you know, it might slow down a little bit here until we get Mike Trout in the lineup.
Yeah, and hopefully that's soon. We don't have an update on Trout to give you, but hopefully very soon when he can deal with the pain. So Rengifo once again leading off, followed by Shohei, Drury, Moustakas, Crone, Moniak, Renfroe, Matt Dice, and Gritchick. I give a little emphasis on Renfroe because he was walking behind.
And he had a big night last night, right? Hey, I love this lineup right here. You're starting to see the same lineup every night. I love the continuity. Guys start to feel comfortable knowing who's in front and who's behind them. It just starts to become a flow. And I tell you what, as a player, it always made a difference for me. I'm loving what I'm seeing in this lineup.
All right, this is who Shohei is going to be facing for the Giants, including Crawford hitting 8th, Wade, Estrada, Flores, Peterson, Davis, Conforto, Bailey. There's Brandon and Matos.
Yeah, again, I think it's going to come down to you got some good hitters here that have had some good success, but it's that fastball success. Keep throwing that fastball for strikes. It sets up the off-speed stuff from Ohtani.
Who goes yard for the Halos? Call it.
Cronies do. Cronies totally do.
I'm going lead off for Rengifo. Let's go. Great job, Fish. See you afterwards, everybody. Enjoy the game. Wayne Randazzo, Mark Gubas up next.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
I'ma do what? That's on me. I'ma keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Didn't want that stuff, but that's on me. Built that house, so got the keys. They say you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
The heart of your team. The heart of LA. Valley Sports West. The heart of the fan.
Ohtani showed what he's made of. He's absolutely one of the best players to ever play, if not the best player to ever play the game.
Words cannot do Shohei Ohtani justice.
Got him swinging!
Every week, he does something more incredible.
And there it is. Shohei Ohtani goes all 9.
First career complete game shutout for the Unicorn.
Every day, he reaches a new pinnacle.
Back to watch it go as Cats on. This is 40.
He is simply the spectacular Shohei.
Tonight we get to see the full version of Showtime. Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the finale and rubber game of this 3-game series between the Los Angeles Angels and the San Francisco Giants. All eyes on the bullpen as Shohei warms up to get ready for tonight's start. Alongside Mark Gubas, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and Gooby, we get to see Shohei do what he does best, dazzle us as a two-way star.
Wayne, it's amazing. This is the atmosphere at the ballpark. Just watching him walk to the bullpen, his bullpen session, he's walking into the dugout before taking the mound. He's been unbelievable. You go back to Carl's Cam replay. His first career shutout CG back on July 27th. A one-hit shutout, had 8 punch-outs in the game. Shohei was spectacular finishing off that game. And then in game 2, he hits a home run to left field, and then he follows up with a mammoth home run to right center field. So 2 home runs in game 2 of that doubleheader. Truly a remarkable day for Shohei on a doubleheader. And then, his last time out against Seattle, he goes 4 shutout innings. He has to leave that game with that cramping in his hand and his finger, but then ends up hitting his 40th home run in the game and steals a base, the first player to do so since 1926. Shohei Ohtani is spectacular. Everyone smile when they see him play.
That's truly unbelievable, and Shohei is on the mound, the major league leader in home runs, the starting pitcher tonight. You get it by now. It's the Angels and the Giants. Shohei will try to pitch and hit the Halos to a series win.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
I'ma do what? That's on me. Me young boy, but I keep it OG. No, you can't shine me, stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. Me young boy, but I keep it OG. No, you can't shine me, stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Don't want that side, but that's on me. Built the house, I got the keys. They say you can't shine me, stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
I'ma do what? That's on me. Me young boy, but I keep it OG. No, you can't shine me, stay low key. That's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Is on the mound at 2.21 home ERA here at Angel Stadium over the last few seasons. They'll put that to the test against the Giants tonight.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit out of time.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
Shohei Ohtani on the mound tonight as he leads the Angels onto the field to try to win this series against San Francisco.
And he's been great, really, when you think about it, even though that last game out was cut short by the cramping in his hand and his finger the time before a shutout. So he's been throwing the ball very, very well. My go-tos for Shohei to continue, especially in this stretch at home throughout his career. Finish with his non-fastballs, 107 strikeouts with his non-fastballs, and east to west with his four-seamer. It's been very good. A whiff percentage with his four-seamer at 28.5 with 49 strikeouts with his four-seamer.
Shohei has not allowed a run in his last two starts. That dates back to the complete game that he threw against the Tigers and the 4 innings his last time against the Mariners. Tonight against these San Francisco Giants with Lamont Wade Jr. leading off. Wilmer Flores has been crushing the ball lately, and that includes this series. J.D. Davis has homered in this series as well for the Giants as they go up against Shohei here tonight. There's Gabe Kapler, the manager of San Francisco.
And a defense behind Shohei today is brought to you by Easton and Easton. Hunter Renfroe out in right field. 8 outfield assists for him this season. Out in right field, Moniak next to him. Grichuk out in left field. Moustakas and Hifo, Drury, and Crone in the infield, and Matt Thaiss behind the plate here with Shohei Ohtani as he looks for win number 10. But Renfroe has been very good. The throwing arm is strong and extremely accurate.
So Shohei will get going here against San Francisco. Really felt like last night's win, an important win for the Angels. Like the balloon popped finally. A 7-game losing streak ended, and the team felt complete relief afterward. Hunter Renfroe said it felt like more than one win, and they'll try to carry that momentum into tonight. They've got their ace on the mound to try to do just that against the Giants in Game 3 of this series. First pitch, Lamont Wade Jr. jumps all over it, and it's a long way but foul. Brings up a good point about the Giants, because Shohei this year on the first pitch of an at-bat has allowed an 1125 OPS, and there are several Giants batters with an OPS over 800 on the first pitch.
And you got to be real about it too, Wayne. I mean, when you think about it as a hitter, you don't want to deal with Shohei Ohtani when you're behind in the count. Your best option is, because he's around the strike zone for the most part, especially first pitch, is to be aggressive on it.
Lamont Wade Jr. hit that first pitch a long way, but well foul. Now it's 2 balls and a strike. If you see that from a batter on the first pitch that he sees during a ball game, whether it's the first pitch of the game or not, how does that affect you or your mentality on the mound?
You know what? To be honest, I liked it because that means he was out in front of it. That means I can use my fastball. I can even go a little bit further off the plate. He's going to roll over, hit a ground ball to second, or he's going to eventually end up chasing one of my secondary pitches out of the strike zone if he has to be that quick on a fastball.
Waves through that secondary pitch, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was the best one he has thrown in that sequence so far against Wade. A very patient hitter, a guy that works counts and will walk. 396 on base percentage.
He's a good leadoff batter, and he has power. He's hit 11 homers this year. Wade really burst on the scene with the Giants a couple of years ago when he was traded from the Minnesota Twins for a pitcher, Sean Anderson, and Wade was a big part of that Giants team that won well over 100 games a couple of years ago. He had 18 homers for San Francisco that year. Giants were big-time overachievers in 2021 with their 107-win season. Most wins by a National League team since 1986 at the time. The Dodgers surpassed that last year. 3-2 now on Wade.
And lately he's been getting a lot of swing and miss on his cutter, although it almost resembles a slider. So this is not unusual for Wade Jr. to work a count. Another full count. He's seen that quite a bit in this series.
Swings and misses, strike 3. Shohei starts the night with a strikeout of Lamont Wade Jr.
And another swing and miss on a cutter. Another secondary pitch. That's now 108 strikeouts with his secondary pitches. 14th strikeout on his cutter this season. When he came into this season, he had two strikeouts on his cutter.
And overall now 161 strikeouts in 125 innings. For the man who's hit more home runs than anybody in the game this year. It's just nuts. A strike to Thairo Estrada. We see Shohei calling his own pitches. Something that he has done the first time through the order the last couple of starts. A little bit of a change in that regard compared to what he had done earlier in the year.
When you think about, you know, if you're pitching for Shohei, not only you're throwing out there trying to put up a bunch of zeros, but you're swinging the bat. So eventually you'd love to be able to have that connection with your catcher to be able to call some pitches so you don't have to think about everything during the course of the game between pitching and hitting. And just one four-seamer so far. And that was a ball that Wade pulled foul between his cutter and sweeper, quite a few of them. Ron Culpa doesn't really have a big zone back there, so those edges pitches, you're not going to get a whole lot of them.
Three balls and a strike on Estrada, one of the few, maybe the only, stolen base threat for the Giants on their roster. And he's on with one out, a walk from Shohei.
And what Shohei has thrown since the All-Star break, take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. 41% four-seamer, sweeper down a little bit to 33%. Cutter has been up 13%. He's been mixing in some pretty good curveballs. The splitter continues to decline as far as usage. Occasional sinker and slider. The whiff percentage at 37.5, best with his curveball.
So now Wilmer Flores has been a thorn in this series and really over the last couple of months to opposing pitchers. Shohei starts him off with a cutter and a strike.
Shohei Ohtani has allowed 5 stolen bases and 3 have been caught. It's not easy to steal against to begin with. Only 12 stolen bases in his career allowed against him. He's quick to the plate.
Flores loops one to left field. Moving in forward is Grichuk, diving to make the catch. Back to first goes Estrada as Grichuk handles that low liner from Flores.
One of those ones you get caught in between. You got to be aggressive, and he does. And this time he's able to get that as he dives face first into this one. Top hand spin, able to get that just before it hits the outfield grass. Shohei Ohtani liking that defense and the aggressive nature for Grichuk. They'll run that one down.
2 outs and Jock Peterson the batter.
I mean, seriously, Flores hits everything hard. Everything. I mean, he's coming to that bat. A .457 career hitter against the Angels. 16 for now 36 with 4 home runs and 16 RBIs. He was bidding for another hit. Grichuk made a nice play on it.
The ball's in a strike on Peterson in the cleanup spot for the Giants tonight. He lifts a fly ball to left field, hit pretty well. Grichuk going back for this one. He's on the track, makes the catch. And that ends the top of the first. A scoreless inning for Shohei Ohtani.
Create amazing work with Fiverr. All you need is your team and a talented freelancer who will lend a hand and seamlessly join your team from just about anywhere. Expand your team with a Fiverr freelancer.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy. What? And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Baseball and Valley Sports brought to you by Hyundai. Get away with a great deal only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By the OC Healthcare Agency, build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. By your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. And by the original Shakey's Pizza Parlor, serving food, families, and fun since 1954. Shohei Ohtani batting in the number 2 spot for the Angels after pitching a scoreless top of the first inning. The lineup brought to you by Theodore Robbins Ford. Brandon Drury has come off the IL and hadn't missed a beat from where he left off at the end of June. Drury has hit the ball sharply on this homestand. Mike Moustakas continuing to do well as well for the Angels, who put up some runs, got themselves a win last night, and now will try to make it 2 in a row against another opener for the Giants. This time it is right-hander Ryan Walker.
Yeah, fastball, slider, 92-97. Slider will throw my go-tos to have success. He's got to bring that sinker above the knees and power that hanging slider. He's given up 5 home runs versus his slider.
First pitch high and tight with that slider to Luis Rengifo. Thought maybe he got hit by the pitch.
I think they'll look at that one there. He's looking as if maybe he got hit. And he's going to walk down to first base, and he already given him
the base.
Yes. Gabe Kapler, we saw that hand up quite a bit last night. He's going to make sure and check it.
The Giants might be the team that wants to take a look, and yeah, Gabe Kapler is going to ask for a review. These are always dicey because they're tough to tell on video a lot of the time. So the Giants potentially burning their challenge here right away in the bottom of the first inning to try to keep Rengifo off base, at least for now. Ron Kolpa, the home plate umpire, and the crew chief.
Yeah, these are always so tough to be able to determine. We saw that at home last time around. I don't know.
I think Rengifo would have had to have felt something to say that he got hit. Now the call on the field is that he was hit by the pitch. It doesn't look like it, but they have to have enough visual evidence to overturn the fact that It was called a hit by pitch by Ron Kolpa.
And he keeps looking at his hand and wrist area.
Gabe Kapler, who has...
I mean, he looked right away. We didn't know if he was going to call it or not. You hear a little something, but that could be the catcher's mitt also. But it sounded like it was something different than the straight catcher's mitt.
They are able to hear as well the audio of it, looking or listening for that double sound if it hits the batter and then the catcher's mitt.
Tell you what, if this goes against the Giants, that's a big decision to challenge one pitch in.
Gabe Kapler can go lift some weights while he waits for this review to be determined. Got to hit a quick set.
You always feel the longer it takes, the more you think it's going to end up being, could be one of those call stands.
Should be a 60-second time limit on reviews, by the way. It really shouldn't take longer than that, or they should just say the call stands. We had 60 seconds to figure it out. We couldn't figure it out. The call stands. That's really what it should be, in the interest of saving time and entertainment value of watching the pitcher warm up and the umpires stand around and the players stand around.
If anything, that left wrist.
It's okay to watch Shohei stand around.
Yeah,
that adds a little extra entertainment value instead. At least his helmet is off. Gets the shots with the hair out. And stop the music. I think they just ran out of the song, so now they're gonna have to replay the review song.
They needed November Rain from Guns N' Roses. That's about a 9-minute song.
That might be what they need to do. Even Gabe Kapler is wondering what's going on now. It was your idea. They are waiting as they review this play in Midtown Manhattan.
I think now they're thinking about hearing, they're listening too. I think that's what it is, because it's so hard to determine if it actually got him or not.
Well, it's been about 4 minutes since the pitch was thrown, so it has been a while for this review, well past the 60-second review window that I would put in if I was the commissioner.
I'm telling you, it's getting close to the November Rain by Guns N' Roses now. Getting close to that 5-minute mark.
This is about the part where Slash does the solo.
After review, to call in the field stands. The guy was hit by the pitch.
Oh, yeah.
San Francisco lose their challenge.
That's how it goes.
You can't come out here. I got him.
Yep.
Ron Kolpa telling the world that Gabe Kapler is not allowed to say anything about this.
And once they've determined and made their call, you cannot go back out on the field unless you want to have an early exit.
Gabe Kapler frustrated that Ron Kolpa told him to take a U-turn and go back to the dugout. Now Shohei bats with a man aboard. Walker with that spinning slider drops in a strike. Shohei in the games he has pitched this year has hit .373 with 6 home runs.
Pretty good all-around numbers with his slider, though, for Walker. Just a .234 batting average, though, and a whiff percentage over 42%. But when he gets to that anywhere in the zone with the slider, that's when it gets hit.
Getting that outside corner from Ron Kolpa. Both strikes seemed off the plate. Now Shohei wants a timeout. Walker has given up a handful of home runs lately. Go back to his last 17 appearances. He's allowed 5 home runs. And he strikes out Ohtani with a fastball up and in.
We have a couple pitches that were arguably off the plate with a slider, and he rushes the fastball and gets it by him. Shohei's thinking, okay, I'll take some of those sliders a little bit off that edge. See, left-handed batters struggle a little bit more than right-handed batters against Walker. Just watching where he starts, that back leg, he's barely touching the pitching rubber. He's all the way on the first base side of the pitching rubber. And he throws across his body.
Walker is from Washington State. He was a 31st round pick in 2018, so he's really worked his way through the minor leagues. You get forgotten about when you're a 31st round pick like that pretty easily. And Walker, just 27, has gotten to the majors this year, and he's ahead of Brandon Drury, 0-2.
See, when he gets there, he starts on that first base side, and then he'll throw across his body. It's tough to be able to track the baseball. He hides it behind his back, and then it's on top of you. It's pretty good overall numbers for him, a 2.52 ERA.
Drury waves through that slider, and there's back-to-back strikeouts for Walker.
It's a 247 batting average against him this season.
Walker has been the opener for the Giants 7 times this year. This is the 8th. The Giants have won all 7. They've done well in these games where they've used an opener, 15-6, including the loss last night. I'd imagine it looks like already the Giants are getting Sean Manaea up. It's kind of Manaea's day to pitch, even though he's not in a starter's role anymore. But it looks like Gabe Kapler will get Manaea in this game sooner than later as he's getting loose in the bullpen.
He's got some movement and life on his fastball too. That's a couple of them. Sinkers.
There's the former Oakland A, Sean Manaea, who was moved to the other side of the bay and now in a Giants uniform. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mike Moustakas. Line to right, base hit for Moustakas. It pulls Conforto over toward the corner. Rengifo's on his way to third. Bill Hasselman will hold him there as Moustakas has a double, and Rengifo got a late stop sign from Bill Hasselman. The Angels have runners on second and third.
I bet this gets away a little bit from Conforto. I think Bill Hasselman's sending him home. Good swing there again from Moose. 14th double. Did a nice job of cutting this one off.
Probably a prudent stop sign, although a late one from Bill Hasselman. As C.J. Cron swings and misses on the slider. It would have been a close play at the plate, probably an out. And the Angels sent Rengifo. And again, Bill Hasselman kind of stands right there in front of the base runner. Saw that last night. He was lucky in that instance that Rengifo didn't bowl him over.
Now you're just trying to punch this ball into the outfield here if you're C.J. Cron. It's probably going to be a slider.
That's exactly what he tried to do.
Bailey's really good behind the plate, so he's probably comfortable trying to even bounce the slider here, even with a man on third. This youngster is solid defensively behind the plate.
Cron able to foul that fastball off. Swing and a miss. Cron strikes out. Ryan Walker able to pitch out of some trouble in the first.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid. Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Floyd with Shohei on the mound. Shine on, you crazy diamond. He has been unbelievable on that mound and on that diamond this entire season, especially here at home. Need Shohei to be Shohei to be able to get a chance to win the series against the Giants.
J.D. Davis leads off the top of the second against Shohei Ohtani. And he waves through that sweeper from Shohei. A quick strike on Davis. Another guy who swings at the first pitch. Of all the Giants who have done well on first pitches this year, Davis has done the best.
And you know that Shohei's already looking ahead of that. He's seeing what guys are doing on the first pitch. He's already studied what pitch they have hit on the first pitch. And then Shohei's had some issues, especially with some power numbers against him on the first pitch.
J.D. Davis has the second most hits in the majors on the first pitch this year. Only Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has more.
So he had a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. The one he threw to Wade Jr. pulled foul. 96 on that late swing there for Davis. I believe that sweeper potentially coming now.
Davis laid off, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. J.D. Davis has usually kept his strikeouts down. He kind of grew up in the Houston system, but this year he has struck out a ton, 117 times. And Shohei unable to put him away so far. It's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Davis able to make some contact to stay alive. Last year he struck out 122 times, the most in his career. He had never really gotten close to that number before. As we see, Shohei's arsenal so far has not thrown many fastballs just yet.
You even go back to that complete game, in Detroit. He threw a ton of fastballs. I think he was over in the upper 40%.
Throws one there and gets a bouncing ball to third. Moustakas with a long throw to first and plenty of time to get J.D. Davis.
Shohei Ohtani, when you think about his sweeper, what he's done lately with his sweeper, it's been very, very effective on the edges or just off the edges, and that's why it's been a lot better of late. The numbers speak for themselves. I mean, the batting average is 149. Well, he has given up some home runs when he gets the middle of the plate, but you go back to since the All-Star break, a little less usage, but more as far as out of the zone and be able to get more swings when he's on those edges.
Michael Conforto now the batter as he looks at a strike. There's a line drive hit well to right by Conforto. It's the first hit for the Giants, and it's an automatic double.
There's a cutter. And the numbers, batting average at 300 versus his cutter. He tried to go backdoor on a cutter. That went right into his wheelhouse on the inner half of the plate. He was able to drop the barrel of the bat, and he hooks that in the corner for an automatic double.
That's another first pitch of an at bat as well. These Giants who do so well on the first pitch against Shohei, who has his toughest time on the first pitch. See how the adjustments are made throughout the day. A strike on the first pitch there to Patrick Bailey. Bailey had a good game on Monday, drove in 3 runs. Switch hitting rookie catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike from Shohei, who has dominated over the years here at Angel Stadium. His .228 career ERA in this ballpark, 3rd best in the last 100 years for a pitcher at home. There's a strike. Jacob deGrom at Citi Field, Clayton Kershaw at Dodger Stadium. The only 2 that have done better at home over the years than Shohei.
I really like that last pitch, 95 right on the outside corner. Now you got some options to be able to finish him off. You could go splitter even.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Bailey. Shohei has always been so strong with runners in scoring position, ground balls and strikeouts, gets the outs that he needs typically in these spots. Gave up a double with 1 out to Conforto. He's at second. And Bailey stays alive.
His ground ball percentage up quite a bit this season, up to 46.1%.
On 2-2, Patrick Bailey waits. And lays off a high fastball. Now it's 3-2.
The 29 pitch next will be 31 pitches now for Shohei Ohtani.
Already some deep counts, especially here in the second inning. And Bailey spoils another one.
Been able to foul off some pretty good pitches for Shohei.
Mentioned the high strikeout numbers for J.D. Davis. He's really the only Giant that is even in that neighborhood, especially out of the guys in the lineup today. Shohei trying to put away Patrick Bailey. It's 3-2. Bailey fouls another one back. That one into the PA booth. This will be at least a 9-pitch at bat for Bailey. A lot of fastballs here. As Ohtani looks for the put-away pitch against the Giants rookie catcher. And he walks him on a breaking ball. It's the second walk issued.
A young hitter. That's a pretty impressive at bat.
They love Patrick Bailey. You know, the catching position has become a legacy position for the Giants after all the work Buster Posey did. And they thought Joey Bart was going to be the heir apparent, the guy who took the place of the legendary Posey, but it's Bailey who has come up this year at age 24, and he looks like the catcher of the future over Joey Bart.
Yeah, he's behind 1-2 in the count. A young hitter against a star pitcher like Shohei Ohtani, and fought off some tough pitches, ended up working a walk.
So now it's Brandon Crawford, the veteran shortstop, as time is called. Crawford hitting just .205 this year, but he has a long history of getting a lot of base hits. He has played in more games as a San Francisco Giant than anybody, except for Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, and Barry Bonds.
It's pretty amazing. He's had an outstanding career.
2-time world champion. 2 balls and no strikes. The strike zone jumping around on Shohei so far.
Already 21 pitches, 9 out of the zone here. Now even though he's struggled a little bit this year, now you put him in position he can look in the spot.
3 balls and no strikes. And really nothing looking sharp here in this inning so far for Shohei. And a long at bat with J.D. Davis, who grounded out. Conforto ripped a double. Bailey walked after a long at bat, and now it's 3-0 on Crawford. Swinging, he fouls one off. Might have been ball 4.
I didn't mind him. I mean, if you're a Giant fan, you don't mind him swinging there because you figured you're going to get a fastball in the zone. It might have been off the plate a little bit. But it's a pretty good hack in, and I'll see what Shohei could do now after getting back to 3-1 count.
There's a strike and a throw to second base. Chases Conforto, hits him, and goes into right field. So the runners advance. Conforto to third base, and Bailey goes to second. Conforto was getting some massive leads off of second base. So Matt Thaiss, in an effort to try to control that, throws down and ends up hitting Conforto as he dives back to the base.
Yeah, right off that ear flap and kicks away. Now Shohei needing to strike out now. Now he got to a full count.
So 3-2 coming to Crawford. A high fly ball to left center field. Conforto at decent speed. This should be good enough to get him home. Moniak has it, throws toward the plate, but Crone cuts it off, and that error looms large. As Conforto comes home, it's a sacrifice fly for Crawford, and a run handed to the Giants.
It's like we saw when we talked about even in the pregame show, a couple quality at bats getting sac flies from Moustakas and from Theis last night. The veteran Brandon Crawford gets the job done.
It's 1-0 San Francisco. Now Luis Matos will be the batter. High and tight from Ohtani. It's the first run that Shohei has allowed, although this could end up being an unearned run. Since July 21st against the Pirates, Shohei did not give up a run in either of his last 2 starts. See Shohei trying to coach himself on the mound to snap that sweeper off, and it's 1 ball 1 strike on Matos. Playing center field again. He was inserted in the game last night after A.J. Pollock got hurt, and Pollock on the IL today with an oblique injury. The pitch was up, but Matos could only foul it off, and it's 1 ball 2 strikes. Matos got a piece to stay alive, and it's still 1-2. Shohei trying to work around a walk after the double. The error by Matt Theis brought 1 run home. Shohei can limit it from there. It's been a long inning. This will be pitch number 30 here in the top of the 2nd.
That's a good pitch.
And Ron Culpo didn't call it strike 3, a little bit low perhaps.
Yeah, just barely off the plate.
Shohei was hopeful that would be the one. Phil Nevin, too, from the third base side dugout. That's up and in. So now 3-2.
Ron Culpo's more known for a guy that doesn't call a lot of those borderline pitches. He's more of a hitter's umpire.
Back to the top of the order. Lamont Wade Jr. on deck. Shohei trying to pitch through it here in the 2nd. Swing and a miss to end the inning. Matos strikes out. Ends up being an unearned run for the Giants in the top of the 2nd.
See it.
He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start. He took a home run away.
Live it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays.
The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
Hi, I'm J.P. Crawford, shortstop with the Seattle Mariners.
J.P. Crawford flexes his muscles.
I love my experience competing in the pitch, hit, and run when I was a kid. It helped me believe in my skills as a player.
The 1-2 on the way to J.P. And the Mariners win it.
Go show yourself what you're made of and make your way to the national finals at the World Series. Sign up for a free competition near you at pitchhitandrun.com.
15 minutes of rain earlier. It was tough times, but we made it. 1-0. The Giants have the lead over the Angels here in the bottom of the second at the Big A's. We send it down to Carlin Bathe.
Thank you, Wayne. We have something cool to show you all at home. PSA Grading and Authentication made 3 exclusive cards for Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and Ippei Mizuhara. It's 3 of 3. You can't get these like these anywhere else. This moment, it's from the World Baseball Classic, excuse me, earlier this year, and the moment I'm sure fans remember. Trout at the plate, swinging, Ohtani on the mound for the final out of the game. Under each signature, under Shohei's it says Japan, under Trout's it says USA, except for one of them, it says Captain America. We know Trout's a big card collector. You guys, this was his idea to get this for all 3 of them to remember forever.
Yeah, pretty cool moment at the end of the World Baseball Classic. One that really made the sport the talk of the universe as that Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout showdown happened. Mickey Moniak swings and misses on that pitch from Sean Manaea. I love seeing Trout in that picture, you know, really selling it. Good acting from Mike, as he's not smiling. Shohei and Ippei are smiling, but Mike is stone-faced.
Yeah, he's still a little bit of an edge.
You see here that Ippei's he's happy, Shohei's happy. There's Mike. You know, it's a great card, but you know, I was on the other end of that.
Yep. That's pretty amazing. That's a super cool card.
The caption from Trout on his Twitter account as Moniak rolls a ground ball to Estrada, and he's the first out recorded by the new pitcher for the Giants, and their featured pitcher tonight, it is Sean Manaea.
Yeah, fastball, 90, 94, maybe 95. He'll throw a curveball, slider, and changeup. 3 and 4 in his career against the Angels with a 4.21 ERA. A lot of those years, obviously, with the Oakland A's.
Renfroe hits one sharply foul into the box. Couple doors down, and a great catch was made. Oh, now he's eating the ball. He's got that Goldberg.
That was an amazing play.
Hunter Renfroe goes down looking. Couple of quick outs here for Manaea. Goldberg here. This was somebody that stuck his hand out and caught that ball like it was a feather. And he took a bite out of it.
And why wouldn't he?
What a bruiser. Why don't you go put that ugly green jersey on him? Go sign him up for your football team.
Oh, man, there you go. Mike Trout will not be happy. He'll give me that stare again.
Matt Dice at the plate against Manaea. He's got his own problems when it comes to football. A passionate New York Football Giants fan.
Oh, yeah, he gave me that look when I was walking around with a jersey today, the Eagles jersey that Mike Trout gave me. Yeah, he was. He's not real happy with me.
Almost time for the Giants and Eagles fans to scream at each other in the Northeast.
By the way, you'd love to have a prolonged inning. Shohei threw a ton of pitches in the second. So far, Sean Manaea has been very, very economical and quick, getting 2 outs and ahead of the count here now on Tice at 1-2.
And a quick inning for Manaea. 1-2-3, bottom of the second.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake. That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network. You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered, packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network. It's the Modern Baseball Show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network.
Pick here by Matt Theis to throw there to second base, and to see that baseball off the helmets of Conforto is able to advance there. Benji Gill is going in there talking to Luis Rengifo and Brandon Drury. What you're supposed to do in that, you're supposed to get up there in front of the base, to be able to be there, to be able to on time. It's a timing play, put a lot of times into the dugout to have that back pick for the catcher. You got to get up there in front of the base at the very least to keep that in front of you. We saw that the other day against Seattle, where behind the play there, Luis Rengifo is getting more and more playing time here at shortstop. You want to get up on the base, and you might have a shot at not only getting the out, but also trying to keep that baseball in front of you.
It cost the Angels a run. And now Lamont Wade Jr. leads off the top of the third with a base hit. The Giants have their leadoff man on here in this inning, as Shohei had to throw a lot of pitches, over 30 in the top of the second.
That's another hit on a cutter. That was right in the middle of the plate and down. So middle. He goes back up the middle. Not exactly squared up, but you can make contact with it. Struck out his first at bat. Strider will probably be swinging first pitch here now. Be ready in the infielder.
Shohei has not found his go-to pitch yet, and the fastball hasn't been. Sometimes it's by design, but he has not been hitting the high 90s yet. He's been in the mid 90s so far.
He's got 15 ground ball double plays turned behind him this season.
No balls, 2 strikes on Estrada. The hardest fastball we've seen from Shohei so far is 97. He's been in that 94 to 96 range for the others.
Look for him to make a quick adjustment. That's one of those sweepers, Wayne, who got a lot of the plate. We showed early when he's been really good. He's on the edges or just off the edges with a sweeper.
0-2 on Thairo Estrada. That's in there, strike 3 called. Ohtani gets the outside corner with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for his 3rd strikeout, and there's 1 away.
Trying to run that. That's a nice job by Theis to bring that back. It looked like it was a little bit off the plate. Shohei got the benefit of that one. And now the dangerous Flores at the plate. The line drive that Grichuk made a nice diving play on. First at bat.
Flores with a pop foul and out of play as Flores lined out to Randall Grichuk. And all these former Mets around here, Flores, Conforto, Davis, me. You see Randall Grichuk out there in left field. He looks like David Wright.
Yes, he does.
Flores with a pop-up, shallow right. Crone goes out and makes the over-the-shoulder basket catch. I just wanted to give a tribute to Willie Mays.
Tell you what, that was pretty impressive. Casually able to go back on that. He's under control. He's made a couple nice plays at first base on pop-ups. CJ Crone, good hands over there first. Off the bat, I was thinking that might have had a chance of falling in there, especially as deep as Renfroe has to play against Flores. Jock Peterson is another guy that will swing at the first pitch quite a bit.
2 outs, and here is Jock Peterson. There's a strike as Theis faked a back pick to first with Wade going back. A lot of Bay Area natives on this Giants team, including Peterson from Palo Alto, California. He was such a Giants fan growing up that he still went to the championship parade in 2010, even though he had already been drafted by the Dodgers.
That's always good to see. I'm sure Dodger fans were always happy about that one. Those two really get along well, the Dodgers and the Giants.
They actually have a couple series against each other near the end of the season that could determine the National League West. Right now, the Dodgers a 5-game lead over the Giants in that division. Peterson goes down and strikes that one to right. A base hit. Wade will make it third as Renfroe drops the ball. Now throws to second base as Wade held up. A single with 2 outs for Peterson, and the Giants have men on the corners.
Happened too often where Shohei Ohtani gives up a hit. On 0-2, he went back-to-back splitters. His first 2 splitters of the game. One was a swing and miss, and this one he was able to get down and make contact, get a base hit.
Jock really just went down and got it.
Already a big part of the game here now for Shohei and the Angels.
Swing and a miss by J.D. Davis on a high fastball. It's 0-1. Davis grounded out his first time.
Yeah, coming in the game on 0-2 counts against Shohei, just 2 hits in 34 at bats, an 0.59 batting average with 21 strikeouts and a slugging percentage of 147. So now we're back at that 0-2 count again.
Gets ahead of J.D. Davis. We mentioned earlier he has struck out more and much more than anybody on this Giants roster. Will already be the 60th pitch for Shohei, not yet out of the third. Another fake throw to first. Peterson
He might have gotten him.
Yeah.
I think he had a real good chance of getting him on the back pick there.
Especially with Peterson freezing. He was kind of giving himself up. Thinking that
if he maybe get into a rundown to start running towards second. Especially on an 0-2 count.
So he, at that point, would have been in trouble, and maybe Wade would have tried to score, but Dice never let go of the ball. Swing and a miss. Davis chases and misses to end the inning. Shohei dances around a couple of base runners in the third.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered.
Things are heating up.
Packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning fast hour.
Oh my goodness! What a play!
Every game.
Go!
Every night.
Swing and a miss!
Every highlight that makes the headlines.
Are you kidding me?
Relive today, preview tomorrow.
The quickest way to catch up on all the action? We've got you covered.
On Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network. This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Take on the Rays at 6:30. The first 25,000 fans will receive a City Connect Rally Monkey, courtesy of angels.ocnavigator.org. For more info, visit angels.com/promotions. Here's Randall Grichuk. David Wright look-alike. Can pick apart left-handed pitchers like Wright used to, that's for sure. And Grichuk swings to this delivery from Minaya.
Isn't he known as Captain America back there in New York also?
Well, he was the first team captain that Team USA had in the World Baseball Classic, so he's passed it on now. There's a strike to Grichuk.
Well, that was a little off the plate. There's no way as a right-handed batter you're giving up on that one. But if you get that call, it's a tough night against Sean Manaea. He has a no-hitter in his resume. We saw that today with former Angel, local kid, Michael Lorenzen for the Phillies.
How about Michael Lorenzen? Born in Anaheim, pitched for the Angels last year. Really, the Angels gave him an opportunity to be a regular starting pitcher. He was kind of a back and forth guy out of the Reds bullpen and in the rotation. Even was sort of a two-way player for them for a little bit. And Lorenzen picked up by the Angels last year. Ended up with Detroit to start this year. This was his first start as a Philly at Citizens Bank Park. 124 pitches. The first complete game in his career, and it's a no-hitter.
I mean, he's had two outstanding starts. If baseball gets away, good start here for the Halos. A leadoff walk.
So Grichuk is aboard. I suppose that was ball 4 and not a hit by pitch. So the Angels have a man on as we take a look at our Kia player profile, and it is Rengifo has done well in the leadoff spot.
He's showing some power. Top OPS from that leadoff spot. Acuna Jr. higher. 75+ plate appearances. It's impressive company for Rengifo.
Ball 1 from Sean Manaea. Congratulations to Michael Lorenzen and his 124 pitch no-hitter today. First time the Nationals had ever been no-hit. It was in 2018 when Manaea threw his no-hitter on an April night at Oakland at the Coliseum against the Red Sox. Most of Manaea's career has been with the A's, but he was part of all the trades they made to unfurl their roster. It was really the last of those deals after the A's had already traded Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, and Chris Bassett. And Manaea was kind of the last man standing before he was moved out of town to San Diego.
That's a good pitch drive. He just missed that one. He's got some good power from that right side. Shohei Ohtani on deck. He'd like to have some traffic. He comes to the plate. Sean Manaea, just like with Walker, don't throw across the body, so they sling that baseball a little bit harder to track the baseball out of the hand of the pitcher. That crossfire delivery. Good take on that slider down and in, especially after fastball away.
So the Nationals being no hit today, the Angels actually now have the longest streak without having been no hit. They have not been no hit in this millennium. Hit hard, took the glove off of Manaea, but he gets it out at second, and Rengifo is safe at first. That ball was ticketed for center field.
Well, Gabe Kapler's putting his hand up, but there's no more challenges for you. You're just making sure he's okay at the mound, I think, more than anything else, but there's no challenges.
You can't ask for a crew chief review. That ball was a base hit had it not hit Manaea's glove.
A lot of times the pitcher would just throw that glove out there for protection. That's a pretty good reaction to be able to get to that baseball that quick. A lot of times you do it as a pitcher, then you airmail a throw, whether it's second or even first base.
Manaea really settled himself with a gloveless right hand and still was able to get that throw to the second baseman Estrada. And here's Shohei Ohtani. Ball 1 from Manaea, who has not allowed a home run in 47 consecutive innings. That's the longest active streak in the majors. So here's the right man at the plate to end a streak like that.
If you're going to do it, you're going to probably have to go away, and Jock Peterson's playing extremely deep out in left field.
One ball, 2 strikes now on Shohei. Shohei's only hit 1 home run in his last 11 games, and even so, he has still maintained the major league lead. And Matt Olson is right behind him now. Olson has hit 39. Pete Alonso hit another one tonight. He has 35 for New York.
That's a pretty good hack there for Shohei. They want a little bit more in the inner half.
No Angel has ever led the majors in home runs outright over a full season. Shohei bidding to be the first in that. A little squibber but foul. Burger King's ruling the plate. Shohei #1 on the major league leaderboard in home runs.
Comfortable lead as far as the American League. The home runs for Shohei over Luis Robert Jr. with 31.
1 ball and 2 strikes with Rengifo at first. Shohei really stayed in on that ball as Manaea likes to work that slider over the outer half.
And part of it too, when you, like I said, when you're a crossfire delivery, it's tough to track that, so you have to throw it inside on occasion against a lefty.
And now he burns one right down the middle. So Manaea froze Shohei there and strikes him out. 3rd strikeout for Manaea, and the 6th by a Giants pitcher so far tonight.
Well, that's how effective that pitch up and in can be, because that opens up the outer half, and that's exactly what he was able to do against Shohei.
Here's Brandon Drury. First time facing the lefty Manaea as he fouls the first pitch off. I don't know what it is about coming in the 2nd inning that has changed Manaea's season, but he had a 7.54 ERA in the games that he traditionally started in this year. And he's looked pretty good tonight.
Sometimes when you're a starter, you get even put down in a bullpen, you just become more aggressive because you don't have all that time in between before you go out there to throw the first pitch, whether you're at home or on the road. So you just get into that aggressive mentality as a bullpen arm.
Drury had a good cut there and stays alive against Manaea. You know, the Giants aren't going to ask him for big innings either. If he goes 4 or 5 at the most, that's really all the Giants want or need from Sean Manaea, as he's the featured pitcher, as they call it tonight.
Definitely want to avoid being behind in that 9th inning against Duvall. I mean, how hard he throws the ball. This throws extremely hard.
Fly ball to left off the bat of Drury. It hangs up for Peterson. And that ends the 3rd.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy. What? And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
Had a home run, a steal, and didn't give up any runs. Only a handful of pitchers in Major League history have ever done that. And a lot of them from a long time ago.
I was going to say that quite a few years ago.
1926 was the last one. Good to see Walter Johnson and Chief Johnson on that list. Any relation?
Walter Johnson, was he known as Big Train?
Yeah, Big Train and Chief Johnson.
Slow curveball for Shohei. First he's thrown tonight.
Wonder if any of those Johnsons know any frontier gibberish. Two balls and a strike on Michael Conforto.
Well, Shohei could use a quick inning here. He's had a battle so far in this game into the fourth inning.
This ball hit well to left center field. Grichuk is tracking it. He's near the warning track and has to reach out to make the catch. Conforto has good power the other way, gave it a ride, but Grichuk able to make the play.
Baseball just kept carrying.
Here's Patrick Bailey. Walked his first time. It was a long at bat too. Breaks his bat this time. The roller to first. C.J. Cron will tell Shohei to take the play off, and there's 2 up, 2 down.
I was going to say he hasn't got a lot of ground ball action. That's the second ground ball out, and a one-pitch ground ball out, even more so for Shohei.
Now Brandon Crawford, a sacrifice fly his first time. That's the only run so far in this game, and it was an unearned run. After an error by Matt Thaiss throwing behind a runner at second base, a throw that Luis Rengifo wasn't ready for. Michael Conforto to go from second base to third. And Crawford did that and drove him in. This fly ball with nobody on base should end the inning. Mickey Moniak a long way in, and he makes the catch to make it a 6-pitch 1-2-3 inning for Ohtani.
With everything you have on your plate, earning your degree online seems impossible. But at Grand Canyon University, we specialize in helping you fit a master's degree in business into your busy day. Your graduation team, led by your own GCU counselor, provides you with the personal support you need to succeed. Achieve your goals with a plan and team behind you. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home winning. Our fast and fresh meal kits are as fast to make as they are fresh to enjoy. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 18 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Had a really good at bat, knowing what they were trying to do. They were trying to get him to hit the ball on the ground and pitch below the strike zone, but his swing path here, you could tell, got down and underneath it. That arc to be able to get that baseball up in the air. That speed of 75 miles per hour, exit velocity just under 98. But the bottom line is he was trying to lift that ball in the air, and he had the perfect path to be able to get that baseball and arc on the swing to be able to get that in the air and a sac fly.
Mike Moustakas looks at a strike from Sean Manaea. Moustakas doubled his first time. He has the only Angels hit. The Angels left 2 men in scoring position in the first inning. C.J. Cron struck out. They've had a tough time picking up Manaea here. First time through the order for the veteran lefty.
Especially now with 2 strikes. Moustakas has been great going the other way.
One ball and 2 strikes now on Moustakas. Certainly these Angels have seen Manaea before. Grichuk's had a couple of homers off him in his career.
Good take on that one. He's trying to get him to chase upstairs twice in a row.
Two balls, 2 strikes now. Moustakas able to fight that one off.
What a nice play in the stands.
It was last year with the Padres when Manaea gave up his sinker and started throwing a 4-seam fastball. That's what we're seeing a lot of tonight. And he strikes out Moustakas with the breaking ball. So 1 out, and we'll drive around with Hyundai.
Get away with a great deal only at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
C.J. Cron, the batter. Typically, Sean Manaea has not pitched well in this ballpark. A 6.31 ERA in 6 starts lifetime at Angel Stadium. Most of that when he was with Oakland, as actually all of that with Oakland before tonight, as C.J. Cron fouls one off.
Sean Manaea has allowed 6 home runs versus right-handed batters over this season. It's a pretty good pitch.
All of those were early in the year. Manaea's got that long homerless streak dating back to the middle of May. Two balls and a strike on Cron, who was trying to hit his first home run since returning to the Angels.
That was a pitch right there. He just missed that one right down the heart of the plate at 94. It's a good idea to walk away now because that was your pitch. Just missed it. Now just to clear the mind and see if you get another pitch in the zone.
2-2 on Cron with Moniak on deck. Another strikeout for Sean Manaea. He has fanned 5. In 2 2/3 innings. Ryan Walker struck out 3 in the first, so the Angels have struck out 8 times already tonight.
And a lot of those, they keep riding that fastball upstairs. Mind an ERA over 5 right now for the season for Manaea.
Last night was a good win for this club, trying to break that long losing streak. And they got to keep their foot on the gas here. This is a point in the season now where the Angels need to pretty much win 2 out of every 3 the rest of the way. Trying to take 2 out of 3 in this series. Manaea gets ahead of Moniak, 0-2. Sean Manaea strikes out the side in the bottom of the 4th.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. Oh, with live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake. That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network. This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Ohtani tonight. Starting pitcher, and of course the great home run hitter. Well, he's had 10.6 at bats per homer this year. The best Willie Mays ever did, 10.7 when he won the National League MVP in 1965. Shohei routinely stacks up to the greats of all time, both as a pitcher and the pitching greats, and a hitter and the hitting greats. It is really just extraordinary what Shohei can do as a two-way player. Luis Matos takes ball 2. I mean, even if he was just adequate at both, it would be historic. The fact that he's an all-star caliber or an award-winning caliber player at both makes it astounding. As Matos fouls one back. And on the pitching side, well, Tim Lincecum, 10.5 strikeouts per 9 innings when he won the Cy Young in 2008. Ohtani this year 11.5 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Lincecum was a tremendous pitcher. By the way, Shohei Ohtani in this inning, a couple fastballs at 93 twice. As long as he can get that sweeper where he wants to throw it, that's still an effective fastball. It's still down velocity-wise for Shohei.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Luis Matos leading off here in the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. The sweeper puts away Matos for the 2nd time tonight. 5 strikeouts for Shohei.
Got him to chase that one off the edge. A little harder than most sweepers he's been throwing, about 83, 84 range. That was an 87. He's been aggressive on both at bats, swinging at the first pitch. Wade Jr.
First pitch in there, a strike on the curve. We have not seen as much of from Shohei tonight. Lamont Wade Jr. is 1 for 2, has a single. Shohei's only given up 3 hits in 4 1/3 innings. Angels only have 1 hit. It was on Moustakas' double in the first. So where Jacob Webb made his debut for the Baltimore Orioles tonight, as the Orioles picked him up after the Angels DFA'd Webb. Wade Jr. with a fly ball to center field. Moniak gets to it, makes the catch, stepping onto the warning track.
He squared that one up pretty well. After a splitter, the pitch before, he's thrown about 3 splitters. Moniak able to run that one down. Off the bat, you were thinking that one might have been dangerous on that one.
Just didn't have the height. The lower line drive as Wade sent Moniak back. So 2 outs, and the batter is Estrada. Of course, if it had the height, Moniak probably would have brought it back anyway.
Yeah, he's done it 3 times already this year.
Shohei trying for another quick inning here after that 32 pitch top of the 2nd. Blazed through the 4th inning, and he's gotten a couple of quicker outs here in the 5th as well, trying to lengthen his night to go up against this Giants pitching staff, namely Sean Manaea.
That's a cutter there. Now you wonder if he goes back to his sweeper.
One ball and 2 strikes. There's a fastball that runs away. 2-2.
Better velocity on that one for Shohei at 96.
One slashed foul. The Giants have been fouling off a lot of these fastballs that don't have the typical 98 or 99 from Shohei. These still getting late swings, but they're at least making contact.
And he's coming in the game on his 4-seamer at 28.5% whiff percent on a fastball 4-seamer. That's impressive. You think of whiff percentage, you think of breaking pitches against hitters.
A little Bouncing ball here from Estrada. He runs well. Drury hurries it over. Another 1-2-3 inning for Shohei in the 5th.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
If you love baseball, you need to watch Baseball's show of record, MLB Tonight.
We've got a bunch of games kicking off.
Who gets you ready to start the evening? These guys.
With Harold Reynolds, I'm Adnan Burke. Good to have you with us.
Join Harold and Adnan for a first look at the night's matchups.
Shohei Ohtani. We're going to talk about this guy forever.
First take from the players.
Oh, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
And the first of many breakdowns.
Let's put this in perspective.
Then, as your game night continues, stay tuned for the ultimate late-night baseball party. With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
That is awesome. This one takes the cake.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
Exactly. You can't top that.
MLB Tonight. Every night on MLB Network.
Join us here at Angel Stadium. Single game tickets are on sale. Get your red on for the upcoming games, including exciting matchups, giveaways, and more at angels.com/tickets. First pitch swinging. Hunter Renfroe. It's a ground ball right to Estrada. The second baseman throws him out. One pitch, one out here in the bottom of the 5th.
But he's looking for a spark on the offensive side. So far, it's been a struggle.
Manaea has had some good games this year, but he's hardly been consistently good. He seemed to turn things around back on July 29th. He worked 4 2/3 scoreless innings against the Red Sox. That's the last time he pitched this long in a game. His last few outings have been short. He got a save in a 1-run game against the Diamondbacks on August 1st. So they've used him in some different ways than he's used to. And he's responded well tonight in this bulk innings role after Ryan Walker was the opener. Manaea has come in. He's going 3 1/3 innings, and he's yet to give up a hit.
Got a couple bullpen arms up now for the Giants.
And the Angels might feel glad when that comes, the way the Manaea's looked here. You know, Grichuk is on deck. He's hit 2 homers off Manaea, and he's the only Angel that's reached base against him so far tonight. I don't think those relievers will be ready in time to replace Manaea when Grichuk bats. Matt Thaiss hits one toward right center field. Moving after it, Conforto. That one kind of off the end of the bat as Thaiss flies out. So 2 up, 2 down, and here's Grichuk, who walked in that 3rd inning plate appearance against Manaea. Manaea is Samoan, but he is from Valparaiso, Indiana. Went to Andrean High School and then Indiana State University. His dad from Samoa, then moved to Hawaii, and after the Vietnam War settled in Northwest Indiana. That's where Manaea grew up.
He's lived upstairs, really effectively throwing his 4-seam fastball. Upper part of the strike zone and above.
Sweeps that one in there, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Randall Grichuk. A lot of strikes here from Manaea. Out of his 57 pitches, 40 have been strikes. Soft bouncer. Manaea has to cover first. Flores throws behind him. Manaea tags Grichuk and gets the out to end the inning. Good thinking there from Manaea as he spun around to take that throw and had the presence to tag Grichuk. Or else Grichuk would have beat him to first. Good play by Manaea.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered, packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network. MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
The sixth inning here at Angels Stadium, and you can see why there hasn't been much offense tonight. The Giants have been held to a run on 3 hits by Shohei Ohtani. The Angels have been held to no runs on 1 hit by 2 Giants pitchers, mostly Sean Manaea. There's a strike to Wilmer Flores, leading off here in the top of the 6th.
This is where majority of the power for the Giants, not a ton of power, but this is the power part of their lineup against Shohei.
Shohei had a lot of pitches thrown in the first 2 innings, especially the second. Been more efficient since then. He's got some space here in the 6th inning, but we'll see how much more beyond that. Have to admire the Phillies for pushing Michael Lorenzen today, as he had a no-hitter through 7 at 100 pitches. They let him pitch the 8th. He had a quick 8th inning, and then the 9th got him to 124, but he was able to knock the door down and get that no-hitter. First one by a Philly in 8 years.
How about your first complete game in the major leagues is a no-hitter?
First start as a Philly at home.
Yep.
That's quite the debut, quite the first impression. That just missed the outside corner. Lorenzen went to Fullerton Union High School. There have been 4 major league pitchers to come out of that high school, and now all 4 have thrown a major league no-hitter. How crazy is that? One of them we showed earlier, Walter Johnson.
That is amazing.
There's a long fly deep to left into the corner. It is hooking, and it is foul.
I'm just watching Flores at the plate. He is incredibly confident and comfortable, even against Shohei Ohtani. It just hooks foul. He's just standing right up there. He's seeing the baseball well. He has in this entire series. It's going to have to be a perfect pitch for Shohei to get him out.
Flores doesn't strike out a lot either. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. And that one over Wilmer's head. As Flores hits the deck, it's ball 4. And Ohtani, with that 3-2 pitch getting away, walks Flores. First walk issued by Shohei since the 2nd inning.
Just able to turn just in time.
Quick look from the trainer here as Flores had to make a quick exit from the batter's box, but he seems okay. The other 3 pitchers that went to Fullerton Union High School that threw a no-hitter along with Lorenzen now. Steve Busby, Walter Johnson, the Hall of Famer, and Mike Warren, who was little known with the Oakland A's, pitched in 3 seasons in the 80s, threw a no-hitter against the White Sox in September of 1983. Here's Peterson.
So Steve Busby went there, huh? He had a couple of them.
Shohei kind of pointing at his back after that last pitch.
And part of it was too the way he landed.
Frostad, Ipe, and Phil Nevin are out. And Shohei has walked off the mound with Ipe and the trainer a few times already this year.
It's a long conversation. I'm thinking that might happen again.
There's been some cramping issues. Shohei seems like he is trying to make the case that he should stay in the game. You know, he came out after the cramping in his last start. He said it was best for the team that he comes out of the game, or that he came out of the game in that last outing against the Mariners. So if he's saying he's good, they trust him, and they will let him continue to pitch.
Part of it too is when he landed, he's going back to that landing spot too to make sure it was okay. He had a little bit of a slip. That was part of the reason why. See here as he's driving towards the plate, lands, and that front foot slips. Usually you see that it will stick right away, and that's what happened with Shohei, and then spins around. I think it was all because of it. He looked back at that landing spot too. But still, even doing that, especially after you've thrown a number of innings and a number of pitches in this game, it's still, you'll have that little bite in your either leg or your back, and you deliver it.
Peterson calls time. Peterson has one of just the 3 hits allowed by Shohei tonight. He certainly kept the Angels in this game. It's 1-0 here in the 6th. There's a strike. And Peterson seemingly taking all the way there. And Shohei again kicks some dirt around the front of the mound in his landing spot.
Looks like Soriano is warming up now in the bullpen.
90 pitches, so Shohei nearing the end anyway.
Back to that last pitch for Shohei. He does a great job as far as using that lower half of his body better as far as the landing and then that spin around, because he's going to have all that force from that back leg and drive towards the plate. We often wonder how Shohei is able to create that arm speed to be able to throw as hard as he does. It's all because that lower half of his body is strong. We talk about his shoulders being strong, but his lower half is strong. He drives very effectively off that pitching rubber. Has pretty good extension as far as that drive of that front foot. See, he starts with that split finger grip, and he'll either bring the fingers together to throw a sweeper.
Another foul ball. That's the 18th foul ball hit by the Giants in this game.
Pretty good curveball, and again another pitch down below the zone. You remember he got a base hit on an 0-2 splitter his last at bat for Peterson. Well, if you felt good about a fastball down and away would be really good here for Shohei.
It's 2-2 on Peterson. And that's lined towards second. Drury with a nice pick. Gets it to second for 1. Over to first 2. A double play. Nicely started by Brandon Drury.
That was not an easy play. That was a cutter, and you're going to have a little spin on that baseball too. That's a 16th double play turn behind Shohei Ohtani. It's an Arco top-tier play, tough play, quick hop, quick hands. 4, 6, 3, double play. Huge one there, turn by Brandon Drury. Over to Luis Rengifo to finish that one off.
That was a good play. Here's J.D. Davis. They've been, and again, Shohei with kind of an awkward landing there.
And frustrated, too.
The Angels have been very comfortable with Drury's defense at second base as they've gone along this year, and that was an excellent play on a strange hop. 2 balls, no strikes. I don't know how much longer Shohei can go here with the way that he's walking around the mound. Clearly,
you don't see him frustrated too often, but he's frustrated in his landing spot.
See Kenny Rosenberg now up with Soriano in the bullpen. Ground ball to third. This should get Shohei through the inning as Moustakas' throw pulls Crone off the bag, but right into the tag on Davis. So Shohei gets through 6. It's still a 1-0 game.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off flare!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Shohei Ohtani, when the top of the 6th ended, he was frustrated by his landing spot. He's not feeling right on the mound, so kind of stormed into the dugout and up at the clubhouse area to get ready to take it at bat. You know, that's the thing with Shohei as he goes through this, the physical toll that this takes to be this sort of player. You know, he accepts that responsibility, but I'm sure doesn't always feel great to have to go back out and hit after a frustrating inning on the mound physically.
Especially every pitch in this game has been so magnified because you cannot afford to give up any runs the way the Giants have pitched against the Angels. So all the pressure in the world on Shohei. 6 innings, no earned runs.
And the 1 unearned run back in the 2nd after a throwing error by Matt Thaiss pushed Michael Conforto up to 3rd, and then he scored on a sacrifice fly. That's been the only run of this game. The Angels only have 1 hit. They have had none since Sean Manaea entered in the 2nd inning. It's the 6th inning now. And Rengifo drives one toward left center field. Long run from Matos to the gap. He can't get it. And one hops over the fence for an automatic double. And there's the first hit off Manaea. Luis Rengifo has been quite a table setter at the top of the order, and he's on 2nd to start this inning.
And that was an 0-2 fastball, 4-seamer that didn't go upstairs. It stayed down about belled high. 105 miles per hour exit velocity. That's a big-time leadoff double for Rengifo. 12th double. Stayed on that one, didn't elevate. Looks like that's a long walk out there for Gabe Kapler. Looks like he's going to go down to the bullpen now.
That's unusual to see Gabe Kapler walk that slowly out to the mound. Normally he kind of marches out there. There's a right-hander warming up. Tristan Beck is warming up in the Giants bullpen, so he'll pitch, and we'll see if he even pitches to Shohei.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered. packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning-fast hour.
What a play!
We live today, preview tomorrow on Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
Hi, I'm J.P. Crawford, shortstop with the Seattle Mariners.
J.P. Crawford flexes his muscles.
I love my experience competing in the pitch, hit, and run when I was a kid. It helped me believe in my skills as a player.
The 1-2 on the way to J.P. And the Mariners win it!
Go show yourself what you're made of and make your way to the national finals at the World Series. Sign up for a free competition near you at pitchhitandrun.com.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
Well, on the days that he has pitched this year, coming into today, an 1190 OPS. He has hit 6 home runs on the days that he has pitched this season.
I mean, amazing what he's able to do. The taxing it is to pitch and still put up those type of numbers when you're using that lower half of your body, your legs, and your shoulder and arm to throw the baseball. Very, very impressive for Shohei.
We'll see if the Giants even elect to pitch to him. They just pulled a left-hander out of the game to bring in a right-hander, Tristan Beck, and that was a pretty good tip-off from Gabe Kapler that they were going to intentionally walk Shohei Ohtani.
I'll tell you what, you haven't really seen many batters intentionally walk like Shohei until you look at Barry Bonds. It's our play sense presented by Frontier, and a different path they get to the baseball. A little longer for Shohei, how short Barry Bonds, and compact with his swing, both generating some bat speed, but just different as far as the swing angle and the lift of the baseball, how quick Barry Bonds was and how Shohei's able to get that leverage and drive the ball like he does.
It's the 16th time Shohei's been intentionally walked this year, the 73rd base on balls he has drawn overall.
So a lot of breaking balls from Beck.
First one is grounded foul by Drury, broke his bat. Beck is from Corona, California in Riverside County. Attended Stanford. He was drafted by the Braves, traded to San Francisco when Atlanta acquired Mark Melanson a number of years ago.
His fastball 93-97, about 37% will throw fastballs though. Slider 36 will throw a sweeper 20, curveball at 7. So you're talking about a lot of breaking balls.
Beck was in the minor leagues a bunch this year. He got called back up about a week and a half ago. And Shohei doing some plank jacks over there at first base. He's trying to get loose as he is the go-ahead run at first when Efo's at second. And Drury fouls one off of the catcher Bailey, who tumbles.
Slider was upstairs. Boy, that catching position is extremely difficult.
Balls and 2 strikes on Brandon Drury. Bailey, a very good defensive catcher, keeping that ball around home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sitting starter with Luis Rengifo doubling off Sean Manaea. He came out of the game. Tristan Beck entered as the Giants decided to walk Shohei. So the tying and go-ahead runs are on. This Giants bullpen gets tougher as it gets later. Drury with a line drive, base hit to left. Renifo touches third. He's being waved home. Peterson misplays it. Shohei goes to third. To second base goes Drury. The game is tied. Brandon Drury drives in a run, and an error by Peterson moves up the other runners.
Boy, just like we had Carlin Babe had a chance to talk to Brandon Drury the pregame show today. He's been so clutch in these spots. Stays on that baseball. Peterson coming in, charging, thinking maybe have a play at the plate. Looks up, the ball gets underneath his glove. You have two guys now in scoring position for Mike Moustakas.
Peterson doesn't have a great arm to begin with. That's why Bill Hasselman was sending Renifo home. Now a strike from Beck to Moustakas as the Angels are in position to take the lead. The run is charged to Sean Manaea after the only hit he gave up all night. It's fouled off of Bailey again.
Wow.
If the Angels take the lead here, Shohei could be in position to be the winning pitcher. Looking for his 10th victory of the year.
The way bullpen is warming up, that's probably it for Shohei's 6 innings. Love to see Shohei get that lead here and be in position to pick up his 10th win.
Infield in for the Giants. Go ahead run in scoring position. And Moustakas with a long fly ball deep to right field. The Angels take the lead with a bomb. 3-run homer, Mike Moustakas.
Clutch is Mike Moustakas. Just like we showed that sac fly, 0-2 count, covers it, 3-run home run. Just like that, the Halos with the lead. Shohei approved. Boy, is he a fan favorite already here at the Big A. The Moose is oh so loose.
Between his personality and his performance, hometown kid Mike Moustakas has returned to Southern California, and he has sparked the Angels many times, and he does so again tonight with a tie-breaking 3-run homer.
Boy, went down and got this again. We showed that path. He was trying to get that ball in the air at the very least, and that baseball went a long way catching out in front. Shohei goes, whoo. Looks like me swinging the bat there. What a moment for Moose. Been a winner his entire life. The guy you want up there, Mike Moustakas.
It's amazing as he has joined the Angels and with a bunch of home runs already, 7 home runs in 34 games. How many of them have tied or given the Angels the lead? That is the 4th 3-run homer he's hit out of the 7.
And 6 of the 7 is either tied or given the Angels the lead. Let's talk about clutch moments.
4 3-run homers since being acquired by the Angels. That is pretty impressive from Mike Moustakas. Big flies and big moments. And this one giving the Angels the lead and a shot at a series win here against the Giants. This will put Shohei in line for the win as he looks for his 10th victory. He won 15 games last year. Moniak strikes out. Needless to say, Shohei would be the first player in Major League history to have multiple seasons with 10 or more homers and 10 or more wins on the mound in the same season.
Because of that swing by those two clutch swings, Brandon Drury and then Mike Moustakas.
Now those are the two guys you want up on this team in those spots. Both put together some fine at bats.
And that's the dangers of walking Shohei Ohtani. You put another guy on base, and it gives the length in that lineup. It gives Brandon Drury a chance to swing. It gives Mike Moustakas a chance to swing with traffic.
Well, a decision that Mr. Wonderful down there, Gabe Kapler, will have to think about on his way back to San Francisco. The Giants return home to play the Texas Rangers this weekend. They'll see Bruce Bochy back at Oracle Park this weekend. One ball, two strikes on Renfroe. Renfroe punches out, and that ends the sixth. But a big inning for the Angels. 4 runs come home, and it was Mike Moustakas again with a clutch shot. A 3-run homer. 6 of his 7 homers have given the Angels the lead or tied a game.
Games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
Throughout this entire game, he had that edge working for him. He had that sweeper going. He had his cutter working today. He was using those secondary pitches when he needed that little four-seamer. He got it on the outside part of the plate. Shohei Ohtani, the ultimate battler out there on the mound. He's able to get through 6 innings. No earned runs allowed. Now puts himself in position to pick up his 10th W of the season. What a battle for Shohei Ohtani.
It's 3 straight starts in which he has not given up an earned run. So now that streak spans to 19 consecutive innings for Shohei without an earned run allowed. Here's Jose Soriano as the Angels have a 3-run lead to work with in the top of the 7th inning. Michael Conforto leads off against Soriano. Angels should have Matt Moore and Carlos Estevez available today. Neither was able to pitch yesterday, so Dominic Leone recorded 6 outs for his first save as an Angel. There's a strike to Conforto. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. It's in there, and it's 1-2. 99
twice.
One right in on the hands of Conforto. Who's looking back at the umpire and saying that was pretty quick. I need a moment here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Conforto signed a 2-year deal with the Giants going into this year. He does have an opt-out after this season. Probably stay put, I would imagine. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Michael Conforto.
Went 3 straight 99-mile-an-hour fastballs. That all-important first out here, though, for Soriano.
Almost hit him, and now it's a full count. The Giants tend to score late in games, especially in the 8th inning or later. They have the 3rd most runs in the majors, so what is typically a somewhat anemic offense, well, they figure it out at the ends of games more times than not. And there's ball 4 to Michael Conforto.
Let's take a look at Shohei Ohtani's cutter here tonight. Our StatCast with the Powered by Google Cloud. Tonight, 37-inch vertical break to it. On average, 2023 is 30 inches. So he had much more vertical break on his cutter tonight. That's why sometimes I look at it, I think, is it a slider? Is it a curve? Is this cutter? More vertical break. Very, very effective.
It's Patrick Bailey. Seemed like he was throwing his cutter a little bit softer tonight. There's a pitch timer violation against Soriano.
That's happened a couple times against him now.
Yeah, and a couple times in one of his recent outings. It seemed like Shohei was taking something off velocity-wise with that cutter to get more of that drop. He pitched a good ball game tonight. Now the bullpen needs to support him. After the offense put up 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th to put Shohei in line for the win. Strike 2 to Bailey. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bailey, a first-round pick a few years ago. He has impressed everyone around the Giants organization with how he has handled himself as a rookie this year.
He's pretty good as far as going the other way, too.
Nissan game break is coming up after this half inning is over. Angels hoping that's sooner than later. Saw Bailey fight off some pitches earlier against Ohtani. Trying to do so against Soriano. The breaking ball is lifted to medium right field. Hunter Renfroe has that for out number 1.
That big first out now, especially with Crawford coming into play. It doesn't matter what his batting average is. He's always been a clutch hitter. So you keep that double play in order now. See if he can get through this inning. Soriano and the Angels.
Crawford with a sacrifice fly his first time and flied out again to center field in his second at bat. Double play target if you can get a ground ball. Crawford's hitting to 5 this year. He looks at a strike on the curve from Soriano.
Going back to last inning, that double play to Brandon Drury turn. That ignited the offense. You score 4 runs right after that really good double play turn on a tough hop. Sometimes a defensive play can help you get it going too offensively.
Good pitch there, and it's 0-2. The Angels finally got a hit off Manaea, who was nasty in the first 4 innings that he pitched. Then Gabe Kapler immediately took him out of the game after that 1 hit allowed. Tristan Beck gave it up from there. Angels trying to win the series. They've got the lead here in the 7th. And Crawford trying to dump one toward the left field line. Long run. Grichuk moving over. Makes the running catch. 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
Able to track that one down, showing some range. Good speed out in the outfield for Grichuk.
Here's Luis Matos, who has struck out a couple of times. Chops it into right field, a base hit. Just a bouncing ball the other way. Conforto with a big turnaround second, but suddenly remembered Hunter Renfroe's arm, and Matos able to bounce that ball through to keep the inning alive. So now the tying run comes to the plate. It's a guy with some power. The leadoff batter for the Giants, Lamont Wade Jr.
A lot of power, especially early in counts.
Wade lined out to deep center field his last time. Singled back in the third. That one nowhere near from Soriano. Bouncing ball foul, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Soriano with some nasty stuff. He has been impressive in his rookie year in the big leagues. Trying to get a big out here in the 7th against a tough hitter. Wade lays off. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Running fastball that was running in there at 99 miles an hour again. He's been asked by Phil Nevin in these tough high leverage situation for a youngster.
24 years old from the Dominican Republic. Misses with that, and it's 3-2. Soriano was hampered by Tommy John surgery a few years ago. He was a Rule 5 pick for the Pirates, and they sent him back to the Angels, and the Angels are happy that they did. Barely pitched over the last few years because of that Tommy John surgery, but he's made an impression as a rookie at the big league level. He walks Lamont Wade, and now the bases are loaded. 2 walks in the inning. Matt Wise will come to the mound. Soriano will face Thairo Estrada after this message from Jack in the Box.
My classic sourdough Jack. It's named after your 2 favorite things, sourdough and me. Only at Jack.
Let's talk about Wade Jr. being so patient. Didn't help him out at all there, especially when a couple firm fastballs and a couple breaking balls there to try to finish him off. Did not go after him.
Matt Moore up in the bullpen. You don't want to bring Moore into a situation with Wilmer Flores on deck, so figure Moore's getting ready for Jock Peterson, who is behind Flores, who is behind Estrada. So a couple of batters before you get to Peterson. And the Angels are just hoping that Soriano can find the strike zone again and get out of this inning. The Angels just took the lead. They scored 4 in the 6th. I've often seen them score in bunches and then give up a lot of those runs right back in the next inning. There's Estrada. First pitch not close, although it was hard. 100 miles an hour.
Just got to trust your defense here. That's the mindset you have, especially with the bases loaded.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Luis Renifo has it. Throws to second for the force. Jose Soriano got up on the tightrope, but he puts up a 0. He leaves the bases loaded in the top of the 7th. The Angels hold the lead, and right now it's time for our Nissan Game Break as we take you to Cole Tucker in the Colorado Rockies, the first major league hit in more than a year. I don't know about you, but I'd bet 1,000 if Vanessa Hudgens was in the crowd. His fiance looking on today as the Brewers and Rockies played. Colorado couldn't hold it, though. A throwing error at the end. Mark Canha scored the winning run, and the Brewers get a big win, especially with the Cubs loss later on. The Blue Jays held off the Guardians tonight. George Springer hit a home run. Kevin Gausman did the rest. 6 strikeouts in 7 innings for Gausman in Toronto's win against the Guardians.
That's a Springer dinger on that one.
There's a Springer dinger.
Yes.
Very well put. The Angels have the lead here against the Giants 4-1 as we get to the bottom of the 7th. And so many times we've seen Brandon Drury and Mike Moustakas come through in big moments.
I mean, they're just trying to shorten up and make contact. And Moustakas obviously got a pitch down. He was trying to lift the ball up, trying to at least get a sac fly. But it all started with Brandon Drury, that swing he had, and also an outstanding defensive play. And Shohei Ohtani, by the way.
Where's your Eagles jersey? You got rid of it? Oh, we want to see it on camera. We'll be back after a quick word from Nissan.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
After your 9 to 5, your 5 to 9 should be easy. As easy as Home Chef's fast and fresh meals. Relax during the home stretch with a meal filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients while your microwave or oven does all the work, so you can clean your plate and skip the cleanup after. Get dinner done quicker with Home Chef's fast and fresh meals.
Soriano walked a couple hitters, gave up a base hit, but ultimately threw a scoreless inning, and the Angels still have a 4-1 lead as Matt Dice will lead off in the bottom of the 7th against Tristan Beck.
Telling you, Wayne, once Soriano realizes how good his stuff is, he's going to dominate. I mean, he's been put in a lot of really tough situations. Have been pretty good this entire season, but his stuff is electric. He's only going to get better as he gains more confidence.
Yeah, he doesn't have to nibble, that's for sure.
No, that one pitch he threw 101 miles an hour first pitch with the bases loaded.
And the stuff moves, so even if he is in the strike zone, the movement's going to fool hitters even within the strike zone.
His only issue so far really has been the walk. So you add that traffic on base and a little ground ball like you saw with Matos, and all of a sudden the stress.
Matt Dice against Tristan Beck here in the bottom of the 7th with the Angels up by 3.
That being said, a few more runs would be fine also too.
No problem. I mentioned earlier, the Giants score the 3rd most runs in the majors in the 8th inning or later, which really flies in the face of what they normally do offensively. It's late in games, they suddenly score runs. Only the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, 2 offensive-laden teams, score more runs in the later innings than these Giants.
Got to get on base, create some traffic.
Nice with a fly ball to left field. Jock Peterson makes the catch. 1 out, and here's a quick word from Kia. Randall Grichuk, the batter. Each team has made an error in this game. An interesting article in The Athletic today about how official scoring has been this year. We've noticed it in certain places. We're going to one this weekend, Houston, where the official scoring seemed a bit lopsided. A lot of hits were given that looked like errors. Well, it's something that has been happening more around baseball. At least that's what the article alluded to. And there were some quotes from Patrick Sandoval in the article, and Sandoval said, I have a little conspiracy. I think they're telling the scorers to be more lenient with hits so the league can say the new rules work.
Spoken like a true pitcher. Way to go, Sandy.
Fly ball again toward Peterson, and he's called off by Matos, who makes the catch. Sandoval said he usually comes out of the game and says, wait, that was a hit? They gave that a hit?
Man, there's no arguing the game is way better. And the attendance across the board, more action, more fun for everyone coming to the ballpark or watching it at home.
And Sandoval will not be on the mound in the Houston series, so we won't have to worry about that official score. Reed Detmers will on Friday night. He'll face Verlander. Saturday, Tyler Anderson against J.P. France, and Sunday, Silseth will get another tough test against the Astros offense facing Jose Urquidy. You feel like you can trust Silseth against any team the way that he's pitched
Yankees,
lately.
Braves. Mariners, I mean, he's been throwing the ball exceptionally well.
They pitch Sunday in the finale in that series in Houston. Rengifo with a pop-up. Estrada calls for it and makes the catch. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 7th.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
If we weren't proud of the craftsmanship and level of detail that go into every pair of Warby Parker glasses, well, we probably wouldn't show you how they're made, including this part, which is our favorite. Wow. And this is also great. Each pair comes standard with lenses that are scratch-resistant, anti-reflective, and UV protective. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Brought to you by Nissan. Save on the action-packed Nissan lineup today at the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event. By Jack in the Box, the double bacon sourdough jack has slice after slice after slice of bacon. Try it. And by Spectrum One, Internet Advanced Wi-Fi and mobile for just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com. See the Angels hosting a Science of Sport event today. Non-profit dedicated to the program called STEM. All parents certainly know about. 50 to 60 students from the MLB Urban Youth Academy participating in the program and showing off their projects today, baseball-themed projects. Angels Baseball Foundation President Dennis Kuhl, along with Kenny Rosenberg and Zach Weiss, participating today. Wish I'd have known. I'd have gone and learned something.
There you go.
Matt Moore has a 3-run lead to work with. The former Giant facing Wilmer Flores to start the 8th. One ball, one strike on Flores.
He does not get cheated on his swing, does he, at all?
New shortstop Andrew Velasquez replaces Luis Rengifo.
That's a great changeup. You see a pitch thrown before like that, a swing on a hard swing on a fastball, then drop a changeup in. That's pitching. Matt Moore.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Wilmer Flores. Matt Moore pitching here in the 8th. Flores pops it up. Crone chases after it. Foul territory, and he's got it. 1 out. Experience Angels baseball at the Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack. For only $44, get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 soft drinks. And for more information regarding the Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack, visit angels.com/funpack. Saw an article the other day where Angel games, Angel home games, are some of the most affordable for families in all of baseball.
I like to hear that. It's been packed all season long. By the way, C.J. Crone takes an amazing route every time on those pop-ups. He gets in position to make those plays, even if every once in a while to reach over the shoulder, but he gets in that position to make a play on a pop-up as well as anybody.
Austin Slater bats for Peterson and takes ball 1. Peterson with an error tonight. The Giants have made 74 errors this year. It's funny because they rank highly in outs above average, so they make great plays, as a defense, but they've made a lot of errors overall. Time is caught. I think if the pitch clock was not working right, Theis goes out to talk to Moore.
Or to make sure they're on the page with the pitch count too.
J.D. Davis follows Austin Slater here in the 8th. There's ball 2 from Matt Moore. Giants have not been to the NLCS since their last World Series trip. They went and won the World Series in 2014. They've not made it past the Division Series since then. Moore deals a strike, but Matt Moore got them pretty close. And the Giants were down 2-1 against the Cubs in 2016. Moore threw 8 spectacular innings against the Cubs, and if it weren't for a blown lead by the bullpen in the 9th inning, the Giants would have forced a Game 5 in that series. And you still might be hearing about Billy Goats. Austin Slater walks on a 3-2 pitch from Matt Moore here, and there's a base runner for the Giants in the 8th inning. It's the 6th walk issued by the Angels tonight. Bouncing ball. That is a foul ball.
Wow, that was really close.
Moustakas let it go by once he heard the third base umpire yell foul. Corey Blazer.
So yeah, just foul. Not over the corner of the base.
Davis hits into a lot of double plays, a dozen of them. Moore ahead of him now. No balls, 2 strikes.
Still has good life on his fastball. We always talk about that knuckle curve that Moore has, but also that plus changeup.
Sure, the Angels would use Carlos Estevez for a save try tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Davis, but it's Moore's job to even make that something to think about. The Angels holding a 3-run lead right now. There's Estevez, who has blown his last 2. Looks like the Angels ended a losing streak last night. Estevez hoping to end that streak next time he gets a chance. Check swing, strike 3. Davis couldn't hold out.
After the knuckle curve, the pitch before, he didn't have a good release point, came right back and a better knuckle curve to get the strikeout. He definitely went on that one. You go back to last season, he was excellent with his knuckle curve out of the bullpen for the Rangers.
Now 2 down, and the batter Conforto. Moore had a sub-2 ERA for Texas last year, and he's under 2 again this year. He has really performed nicely in this late inning bullpen role after many years as a starter.
Went on that one too.
Strike 2 to Michael Conforto. time, Conforto able to lay off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Oh, good try there, especially 0-2 to see if he can go after that knuckle curve. A different look than the changeup, the one before.
Conforto tonight has doubled and walked. The double in the second. Eventually coming home to score. It's the only run for the Giants, an unearned run against Shohei, who was great in his 6 innings. Misses the outside corner, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Angels were able to snap their skid yesterday, looking to win the series tonight before a tough road trip coming up to Houston and then Arlington.
A chance to even up that record too with this. Pull this one out today.
Get back to 500 would be the 15th time this year the Angels would have been at 500. A lot of those were early in the year. And they were just bouncing around between wins and losses in the early part of the season. And they've had a few lately as well.
Shohei will be leading off the bottom of the 8th inning.
2-2 on Conforto. A looping liner caught by Brandon Drury. Matt Moore works the scoreless top of the
8th. Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
You want highlights? Quick Pitch has you covered.
Things are heating up.
Packing all today's biggest plays into one lightning fast hour.
Oh my goodness! What a play!
Every game. Every night.
Swing and a miss!
Every highlight that makes the headlines.
Are you kidding me?
We live today, preview tomorrow.
The quickest way to catch up on all the action? We've got you covered.
On Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings, only on MLB Network.
Listen to live Black-Out-Free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
He really looked like the perfect thing to add to this club last night.
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network.
Go back to her Hyundai key for the game today. Shine on you, Crazy Diamond, and Shohei Ohtani definitely was shining tonight. 6 innings, no earned runs allowed. Putting himself in position to be able to pick up his 10th W, giving the chance to the Angels to win this series against the Giants. And Shohei Ohtani with a couple strikeouts and a walk. The highest three true outcome percentage. Shohei Ohtani at the top all time in Angels history at 45.8, just above the Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson.
2 balls, no strikes here. Ohtani has struck out twice tonight and he's walked, so he's just missing the home run from that equation. Beck has allowed 6 home runs in 58 innings this year, actually 7 now after the one to Moustakas earlier. Shohei was trying to drive one out. Ohtani will break another one of his own records. He'll get his 10th win tonight if the Angels can hold the lead. And that would give him most wins ever in a season for a player that has hit 40 home runs in that season.
I think he was trying to hit that ball all the way off the scoreboard.
Yeah, they better watch out on the freeway.
I mean, he's got 20 home runs versus fastball, but also 20 on non-fastballs.
That is a rocket, but it is foul.
I hope everyone's okay in the stands on that one. That got in quickly.
115 miles an hour.
Hope everyone's all right down there. That got in really quickly in the stands.
Looks like they might need some medical attention over there. A good cut. Now full count.
Tell you what, that would have been pretty tough to stay back on that slow curve after a number of high fastballs with the swings that Shohei has had.
On 3-2, Ohtani takes ball 4. He walks for the second time. Leadoff man on for the Angels. We'll take a ride with Land Rover.
74 walks now for Shohei on the season.
Patrick Bailey has been pretty good about throwing out would-be base stealers, but Shohei stole one the other night with Bailey behind the plate.
This feels like Shohei really taxed his legs today. I'd be shocked, but then again, it is Shohei, but I'd be really surprised.
That's what he wants you to think.
Yeah.
Now he's going to run. 16 steals in 20 tries this year for Ohtani. Patrick Bailey behind the plate, ready to go. Drury with a fly ball pretty deep toward the right field corner. Conforto able to get to it. Make the catch right before the wall. There goes Shohei to second.
Like I said, he just wants to use his legs at some point. Now he may steal third though.
There's a lefty coming up in Moustakas. I wonder if the Giants might just walk in.
That's good base running right there to get into scoring position. That's going to be an extremely long throw. Conforto out in right field as he gets towards the warning track in that short wall.
Angels have 2 pitchers up in their bullpen. Estevez if it stays relatively close, and Zach Weiss if it doesn't. Moustakas hit a 3-run homer off Tristan Beck in the 6th inning. He faces him again here in the 8th. Beck ties him up inside for ball 1. Moustakas with his 4th 3-run homer since joining the Angels. His 7th overall, and 6 of them have either tied a game or given the team the lead, as this one did tonight. He's had a great homestand. He was really the one man who hit the ball well against Seattle in the previous series, and he's carried that over to this one.
I mean, in these big moments, you get to see he's just under control. He's not moving around, not wasted energy, and he crushed that ball out for a 3-run home run.
Pops this one up to the left side.
So it's going to stay in play.
It does, and Davis makes the catch. 2 outs. Giants will have the bottom of their order due up in the 9th inning. Bailey, Crawford, and Matos. The Giants 15 coaches trying to get the attention of the outfielders to move them around.
It's the time where CJ loves to punch that ball up the middle or the other way.
Hit it right to Crawford. And that ends the bottom of the 8th. Leadoff walk, but the Angels don't add to the lead, so Carlos Estevez will have a safe try in the 9th.
It's like that. Got him and stays fair. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we bring it to you. It's like that.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Angels baseball and Valley Sports brought to you by California Community Colleges. Enroll today at iCanGoToCollege.com. By Easton & Easton, official injury partners of Angels baseball. And by Pitching Decisions presented by Sage, official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. Mike Moustakas with the big blow tonight. A 3-run homer, breaking a 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 6th inning. Angels got all 4 of their runs in that inning. And now they hand a 3-run lead to Carlos Estevez, who could certainly use a 9th inning that results in a save again.
And this being aggressive, and I think using all his pitches. He's been using his fastball a lot more. The percentages are up. He still has a very good slider and changeup. Use all the pitches. Above all, attack the strike zone.
Well, the 9th innings have been rough for Estevez in his last 2 save tries. He has given up a total of 9 runs. So he will look to avoid another big inning here as he comes in with a 4-1 lead. Angels live postgame afterward, presented by OC Navigators. The Angels try to win this series. It will be Patrick Bailey, the Giants catcher, leading off here in the 9th inning. A rookie catcher wearing number 14. And we've seen that this year too with Logan Ohtani. And Ohtani started his rehab assignment with Inland Empire yesterday. Today, in his 2nd game, he has 2 hits and 2 runs scored as the DH.
It's good to see that from him. 3 punchies the first day, just getting back.
First pitch, Bailey, it's a bouncer right to Crone. 1 pitch, 1 out for Estevez here in the top of the 9th.
Love that to see. That'll build your confidence, get that quick out.
Brings up Brandon Crawford. Giants have Blake Sable in the on-deck circle. Looks like he would bat for Matos. Crawford drills one to right field over the head of Renfroe. That's straight off the wall. Renfroe gets it quickly and holds Crawford to a long single.
You talk about being aggressive and doing some damage.
Well, the first 2 pitches thrown by Estevez in this inning have been put into play. This one struck well by Crawford.
110 miles per hour off the bat for the veteran.
The Giants, who typically like to empty their bench, old National League team, they still use their bench like a National League team used to. So Matt Wise will inform Estevez about the pinch hitter Sable. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Angels at MLBshop.com. Angels trying to win 2 out of 3 against the Giants. It'll be the first series win for the Angels since they swept the Tigers in Detroit. They'll try to carry that momentum through an off day tomorrow into 6 road games against division rivals, 3 in Houston and 3 in Arlington, Texas against the Rangers. There's a strike to Sable.
By that play there by Renfroe, you still now have a chance to be able to finish off this game with a ground ball and an infielder for a double play.
Renfroe with that incredibly strong and accurate arm in right field. 0-2 on Sable. Good fastball from Estevez. Sable laid off there, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blake Sable from Aliso Viejo in Orange County.
And he had a lot of family and friends down there behind the cage today on the field.
Bouncing ball right to Crone. Gets it into left center field. Crawford goes to third. Sable is safe at first. That looked like a game-ending double play. And C.J. Crone, for the second time on this homestand, uncorks a throw into left field.
And even had a path there to be able to throw, an easier path to throw the ball to second base where Brandon Crawford was running. A lot of times you'll see a runner try to run on that inside part by the grass. Dropped his elbow. And then it elevated that throw.
Crone did that in the opening inning of this homestand against the Mariners. Now in the potential closing inning of the homestand, he does it again. So the door is open. Here's Lamont Wade Jr., who is known as Late Night Lamont, because of all the hits he gets late in games. He pops this one up. Drury calls for it. A big second out.
Just driving towards home plate, the pop up. Liking that. One more to go now.
It's Thairo Estrada, and the guy you really want to avoid is on deck. Wilmer Flores has been destroying the ball over the last couple of months and has had some big hits in this series. Flores had 4 RBIs yesterday. And 2 hits and 2 runs scored on Monday. Estrada fouls off the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Estevez should be through this inning. Instead, he's got to get one more out to try to secure that 24th save, which has been elusive. He had been 23 out of 23. He's blown his last 2. He's got an 0-2 count on Thairo Estrada.
Yeah, he's feeling it right now. He's got a lot on that pitch. Fans getting up.
Homestand certainly had some sour moments, but the Angels trying to end it with a series victory against the Giants. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Estrada. Shohei Ohtani would be in line for his 10th win. And Estrada fights off another.
Went to his slider on that. A good decision on that. After a fastball upstairs, Shohei looking on, looking for double figures in wins.
Angels have had the lead since a 4-run 6th inning. The only Giants run tonight scored with some help on an error, an unearned run. That could be the case here in the 9th inning as well. But Estevez trying to slam the door. On 1 and 2, Estrada. It's a liner toward third, picked by Moustakas, throws to second, say goodnight to the Giants. The Angels have won the series. They score back-to-back wins. Carlos Estevez gets a save, and Mike Moustakas does it all to help Shohei nail down his 10th win.
And that was a rocket his way after a 3-run home run. He can breathe now. That ball was on him quickly. And Moose with the glove after the swing of a 3-run home run. And Estee be able to pick up his 24th save. That is a glove save and a beauty for Moose. Love that fist pump. That's a big win, series win for the Angels. And that 24th save for Carlos Estevez. Shohei Ohtani with his 10th victory on the mound. Brandon Drury with a great game himself, a solid defensive game, and also a big hit for that too.
Shohei Ohtani, 6 innings, did not allow an earned run. Scored a run in the Angels' 4-run 6th inning. Now 19 straight innings without giving up an earned run. He is our Toyota player of the game. The Angels get back to 500. They have a lot more work to do, but a big step in the right direction, taking these last 2 games and just getting whatever they needed off their shoulders after how the last week had gone.
Especially with the off day, a little happy flight with that win, series win.
4-1 the final tonight. Mike Moustakas had another big hand in an Angel win. He's standing by with Carlin Bay.
Thanks so much, guys. Mike, what a way to end the game there, helping Carlos Estevez get his 24th save. Is your glove cooled down yet? That was quite the catch there. How about this win here?
Yeah, unbelievable win. You know, we battled all game. Ohtani threw the ball fantastic for us. They did a great job over there, and you know, able to come out with the W, and that's all we came for.
Well, you really do it all tonight. You had your 4-3-1 home run since joining the Angels at the end of June. How are you using your ability to really get this team where they need to be?
Just going out and having fun, playing the game hard every night. It's an honor to come out here and play baseball in front of these great fans, and you know, in front of my hometown. So it's been a lot of fun, and you know, I love doing this, and I'm gonna keep going.
Well, being able to provide run support offensively for Shohei Ohtani's 10th win on the season too. How important is that to secure that for the starting pitcher?
Oh, it's huge. You know, Shohei did great tonight, and he battled, he competed, and we were able to get him a W, which is huge. And anytime he's on the mound, we feel like we got a great chance to win. And again, we did it for him tonight, and he came out and battled for us.
All right, thanks for doing this, Moose. We'll see you in Houston.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Back upstairs, guys.
He's the best. I'll tell you what, Wayne. He is the best. He has got it such heart. That play he made there in the end, a 3-run home run, it's amazing what he can do.
They love the hometown Moose here in Southern California. Mike Moustakas, a 3-run homer. Shohei Ohtani on the mound tonight. 6 innings, no earned runs given up. As Shohei picks up his 10th win, and the Angels take a series from the Giants. They win tonight 4-1. For Mark Gubas and Carlin Bay, our entire crew, I'm Wayne Randazzo. The halo shines brightly tonight. The Angels win, and Angels Live postgame is next.